Madam, welcome. Welcome to
Thank
this
you so
forum
much,
of the
Dr.
session.
Madhuri. Such a pleasure.
We are very happy to have you here. And I request the participants to please go for the introduction part.
Ma'am, I think no one is there. Can I go?
Yes, please.
Very good afternoon, one and all. Good afternoon to respected resource person, Professor Mahdi. I'm very happy to introduce Professor Mahdi. He is a professor, coordinator, and training and placement officer of MBA Tourism and Travel Management at Aligarh Muslim University. He is a member of National Rural Tourism Council at WCCI, Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He held the position of Provost of Indian Indira Gandhi Hall for Girls at AMU, responsible for the residential arrangements of 700 girls. They have served as a Assistant Dean, Students Welfare, AMU, and UGC Online Grievance Redressal Portal, and she is the member of various committees, including NAC and NRF, working on different aspects of AMU, Aligarh University, and she is also Joint Secretary of National Executive Committee of Indian Tourism and Hospitality Congress. She is a member of AMU Women Club and a non-profit social welfare organization for women, and held the position of treasurer in 2020 and 22. She is also an allied member of Indian Food Tourism Organization. She is also an invited member of G100, a global platform for joint action empowering gender equality behind borders under the auspices of all ladies. And Professor Sheeba has been nominated as state chair of Uttar Pradesh of G100 World Peace Building. Among her many accomplishments in the field of tourism are 53 academic publications and 5 books, including the first ever allocation of solved questions papers, come guidance to NET and JRF assistant professor eligibility exams in tourism administration and management. And 5 recent research papers have been recognized by World Health Organization and listed under global literature on coronariums and disease. She has prepared content for open universities and distance education centers in India. She also designed and developed a comprehensive, massive open online courses on business tourism available on Swayam portal under the Ministry of Education. Currently, she is recording video lectures on tourism in collaboration with SATE, SATHEE, and an initiative by the Ministry of Education, India, and Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, for the creation of content, video lectures, and study materials for the UGET, for UG exam, Central University Entrance Test. And Professor Sheeba is a keen researcher and is skilled in organizing academic industry events, organized national and international conferences, training programs, student fest, and held delegations. Besides being actively involved in university administration, she was the visiting faculty at the Faculty of Management Studies at University of Goa in 2014. And she has delivered more than 125 invited talks at various academic events across India. She is associated with number of universities in various academic assignments. She is a regular resource person at various national and international conferences. She is an expert member of several editorial board of journals, research committees, selection committees, and boards of studies, conference advisory committees in tourism, and also a counselor for tourism program at IGNO, Aligarh chapter. She has also conducted AMU entrance exam engineering graduation at Outside Center, Lucknow and Srinagar as a member and a team leader from 2012 to 2014. She has won awards for Best Speaker, Best Paper, and Insight Award in various conferences, has several honors to her credit too. She has also been awarded for the Outstanding Research Paper by Emerald Publications, UK. She has been and featured among the 100 Muslim women of Uttar Pradesh. Achieving Academic Excellence segment by RBTC, Rising Behind the Ceiling, and the initiative to shine a spotlight on Indian Muslim women, their relationship and contribution in the independent India. And besides this, she leads an active corporate and social life. She writes travel angles and social media and short stories too on various aspects. She is a keen traveler and literature and culture, art and philosophy and coincidence and customs, sir. And I welcome you, sir. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of all the participants, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Dr. Madhuri, can I start with the session now?
Yes, madam, please.
Okay.
Please start.
Thank you so much. So I'll be speaking on the Indian knowledge system today. And I'm very happy that I have been given a chance to speak on this very relevant and contemporary topic today, because all the universities and organizations and the government are talking about Indian knowledge systems and the incorporation of Indian knowledge system into various work areas. And universities are following suit. And hence, I think this is the most appropriate topic to be talked in a teachers training program. So please allow me to share my PowerPoint. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, madam, it is
Now
visible.
it is visible properly? Yes. So this is
Yes,
the
yes.
topic. This is the topic, that is Indian knowledge system for global competitiveness, nurturing skills, values, and entrepreneurship. Now, when universities and educational institutions come into picture, nurturing of students, nurturing of the future wealth of our country is our primary duty. And Indian knowledge system is so extremely rich in so many ways that it is almost indispensable now to neglect any of these aspects. And with the NEP already implemented, and the thrust of government on the Indian knowledge system, the skills, the values, the ethics, and doing something on your own, that is, nurturing entrepreneurship among students has become extremely important today in almost all curriculums across Indian universities. Uh, Now, let us first find out exactly what IKS is. That is India's reservoir of traditional wisdom across art, science, and culture, and various other streams. It is very integral to NEP 2020 reforms in higher education, and hence very relevant and important for all of us over here. There is a rising global interest in Ayurveda, yoga, and sustainability models, which is our pride, our culture, very indigenous to our country, India. And there is a focus on blending heritage plus innovation. So this is the most fashionable thing today. This is trending now, that there is a focus on heritage and innovation. And the interesting part is that I'll be speaking on Saturday in another program on cultural entrepreneurship, which is quite relevant to IKS, the idea of nurturing entrepreneurship in as regards Indian knowledge system. And that this is how Indian knowledge system is strengthening India's role in knowledge-driven economy. Now let us explore how this is happening. The objectives of today's presentation. We have always talked about Takshila and Nalanda as the great seats of learning in ancient India. All the universities today draw inspiration, founding principles from these two great seeds of learning. So we have been boasting of education. We have been the nurturers of education system since times immemorial. We have been pioneers in mathematics, astronomy, metallurgy, and Ayurveda. And the ancient trade relations of our country, it had helped in spreading Indian knowledge to various continents like Asia, Africa, and Europe. And Indian knowledge system has influenced the global thought because it talks about Buddhism, it talks about yoga, it talks about linguistics. And there is a continuity in rural traditions today because we are primarily a rural country. Our economy is primarily agrarian, and our agrarian and rural traditions are the foundation of the Indian knowledge system. Now, the relationship between NEP 2020 and Indian knowledge system. We know that the inclusion of IKS has been there in school and higher education curriculum as part of NEP 2020 reforms. We also know about the promotion of multidisciplinary, value-based and holistic education, which blends tradition with modern knowledge, both in school and higher educational institutions. There is a great deal of encouragement of research in Indian languages, Ayurveda, yoga, arts, architecture, and sciences. Faculty training and development programs are being started, are being held to equip teachers for IKS integration into teaching, into syllabi, into curriculum. There is focus on vocational education and skill building through IKS. For example, introducing crafts, organic farming, wellness tourism, all these concepts. And not only just concepts and theories are being talked about, but field visits, industrial visits, visits to the rural areas, picnics to the rural areas, to heritage monuments is on the rise now amongst all educational institutions, starting from school to universities. There's globalization of Indian culture and knowledge exports through yoga studies, Ayurveda courses, and Sanskrit programs. So whatever is indigenous to India, yoga is Indian. It belongs to us, but the world practices it. Ayurveda took birth in India. We had Ayurvedic physicians and doctors from the very beginning, but this kind of alternative treatment system, alternative therapy system has spread to almost all around the world because people also are shifting the interest of the global citizen today is shifting from allopathy and surgeries to therapies and these alternative systems of medicine because they believe that the root cause of any problem underlying in our body is not the symptom. The symptoms should not be treated, the cause should be treated. And we know that international internationally there is a trend to study about other countries. For example, a university may have a center of Buddhist studies, just as I know the university which is organizing this course has a center for Buddhist studies. For example, my university has a center for West Asian studies and many other centers. And similarly, many chairs are being introduced, centers are being introduced to study about different countries, their way of life, their culture, their society, their polity, their economy. And this is how we gain and enrich our knowledge by taking good points from other cultures, other countries, other economies. So Ayurveda, Sanskrit, and yoga are three things which are internationally being studied. Now, why Indian knowledge system matters today? Why should we talk about it? Why should we incorporate it? And why should we propagate it? Because it has a relevance as sustainable development. Any ancient tradition, any ancient practice that you may know of, maybe your grandmom, if she used to do something like, growing a kitchen garden on her own, you know, that had a sustainability element in it always, because she was giving you organic food to eat. She was utilizing the small ground or area which she had, and the food was extremely fresh on the table, and you were growing from the mother earth and returning to the mother earth, because all the peels and the waste products of that could be turned into soil, and things like that later on, fertilizers and everything. And today also, if we see, when we are talking about sustainable management, the first thing that we do is energy resource management, not to waste anything. And, all the peels of the kitchen also can be turned into fertilizers. So we get from the earth and we return to the earth. So return it to the earth to get more produce. So there is relevance in a sustainable development when we talk about Indian knowledge system. There is a global recognition of yoga and Ayurveda, as I just discussed in the previous slide. And there's a need for culturally rooted innovation. There is times and again we have heard from our elders that we must never forget our culture. We must never forget how our ancestors used to dress, used to eat, what kind of a life they used to practice. Modernity is good. We must advance with the world, but we must never forget our own culture, and we must remain rooted deeply over there. जस्ट एज वी से कि कोई भी पेड़ जड़ से जब उखड़ जाता है, या पौधा जब अपनी जगह से उखड़ जाता है, तो वो अपनी हस्ती खो देता है. सो व्हाट इज आवर्स, एंड वी मस्ट हैप्पीली accept it, practice it, show it to the world, and earn from it also, because which is culturally ours is going to be attractive for others. Then there is a growing market demand for wellness, organic products, and ecotourism. That is so true. Nowadays, we have seen a shift in eating habits of people also. Even if you're moving around in a metropolitan and you're visiting an office area, you know that everyone wants to eat healthy food. So it's not only the burgers and the fast foods and the Mughlai food, that is Mughlai or Punjabi food, that is available all around, but there is a range of services of health food also around office areas and everywhere. So that shows that people are becoming more conscious about their health, and what they eat should be organic. Because of the food adulteration on the rise, people are falling sick today, fatty liver, obesity, and so many lifestyle conditions like diabetes, hypertension, stress are on the rise. So some reasons are, of course, the lifestyle, and lifestyle includes what we eat. And therefore, the demand for wellness is also on the rise, meaning thereby that people are looking for a balance between work and personal life. They are looking and finding to eat very healthy food which we used to eat in yesteryears, not the refined and treated flours, oils, etc. And the demand for wellness means that people are looking towards, leading a life where they are mentally and physically in unison, which is the basic principle of yoga. Mental and physical unison, when your mind and body is in unity. So, and also ecotourism. People have shifted to, visiting destinations for a longer period of time, and a place which is not very heavily crowded. Gone are the days when we would regularly choose going to a heavily crowded hill station like Manali, Shimla, or Nainital, or Uti. People now want to go to very pristine, inner side locations where they can get some rest, and there is not much crowd, and there is something very simple and earthy for them to do. It also builds global identity for Indian graduates, because when Indian graduates go abroad and they bring with them the identity of having the base of Indian knowledge system with them. That is what makes them attractive and more marketable. And, they want them more because they are going to bring in Indian wisdom with them. Now, what are the skills that we get from Indian knowledge system? We get soft skills like mindfulness, holistic health, and ethics. All are ancient scriptures. All ancient stories, folklores tell us about, practicing yoga, eating healthy food, and bringing the mind and body in unity. And also ethical principles that we should be responsible citizens, we should be responsible, we should lead a responsible family life, and we should be responsible towards the society also. And even today, if we just analyze, these principles are so heavily relevant because even the corporate houses are talking about corporate social responsibilities today. If I have 20%, 25%, 50% more money than people living around me, then it becomes my responsibility that I do something for them, or those who have less. If somebody needs to be helped, if somebody needs a scholarship, if somebody needs something which I can easily do for them. So such were the ethics that have come down to us from generations back, and this is what we are talking about today. Because if you just give it a thought, the system of being socially responsible, culturally responsible, ecologically responsible, the whole concept of sustainability is a system which establishes a very healthy and successful society where even the people who are earning less will not sleep, with an empty stomach, will not be without clothes, and will not be without education. So it is a very deeply rooted principle if we try and analyze it. Apart from soft skills, we also get hard skills like, traditional medicine, crafts, architecture. Traditional medicine, I've just talked to you about Ayurveda, homeopathy, Unani system of medicine. Crafts are innumerable in India. Every state is a powerhouse, storehouse of crafts traditions in India. We can talk about the jute in Bengal. We can talk about the chicken curry in Uttar Pradesh, the glass work of Firozabad, the blue pottery of Purja, the bandhani of Gujarat, and the tie and dye of Rajasthan, the paper mache products from Kashmir, the woolens from Kashmir, to the Pochampallis, to the Kanjivarams, to the Patolas, to almost anything, the woodwork of Saharanpur, and whatnot, right? So we have a craft tradition that makes the foreign tourists go crazy over shopping in India. And as regards architecture, oh God, we have, the ancient architecture ranging from, temples, North Indian temples to South Indian temples to Orison style temples, forts, palaces, and Havelis, starting from, ancient India, from, the Marathas, the Mughals, the Rajputs, whatnot. We have everything that we can boast of. And all these traditions have percolated down till today. Many modern, pieces of architecture, buildings, the modern crafts, and the modern medicine rest on the principles of these traditional, these ancient traditions. Then we have the ecological skills like water management and farming. All these techniques are olden. We have just renovated them. At times, innovations have been there. The step farming, the rainwater harvesting, and now we've started with something very modern, like building solar farms, etc. Then we get to know a lot about entrepreneurial skills via indigenous practices, because in the olden times, in the ancient India, very few professions were practiced. Of course, the basic ones were there, but entrepreneurship was one which brought country wealth and prosperity. So that has been encouraged since always until now. Entrepreneurial skills are highly required, rated, and we need to nurture and train our students into these ancient indigenous practice of entrepreneurship. Then there was cross-cultural adaptability. How do we get cross-cultural adaptability from IKS? Because as I just said, that Indian traditions like Indian systems like yoga, the medicine systems, etc., the languages are widely being studied and accepted abroad. So what happens is they come to India to study us. We go out of India and give them the knowledge of IKS. And there is a lot of intermingling. And when and we know that a lot of multinationals have come to India, or a lot of people from India have gone to multinationals outside to work. So there is a whole mix of people that are residing in India on account of their jobs in India, or they are working they have entrepreneurial ventures, etc. And hence there is a lot of cross-cultural adaptability. In the ancient times also, because trade was the main source of income, and the kingdoms also encouraged entrepreneurship and trade relations with other countries. So in those days also, in fact, much more than today, if we read about the ancient Indian society and the ancient societies the world over in various civilizations, we find that, there was a time when Byzantine Empire, Roman Empire, Turkish, Arab, African, all these empires, all these were closely interlinked with trade relations. And people went from one continent, from one kingdom to another to stay for a very long time, and they would get married, and an African getting married to an Arab, and an Arab getting married to somebody in Europe, or and they would speak so many languages, and they would it was difficult to differentiate a person just by his looks, that whether a person is from India, whether a person is from Arab, whether is a person from Africa, because there was so much of cross-cultural intermingling and adaptability in those times, and marriages among different cultures and people was very common. Now, what values do we get from IKS? We learned about dharma, that is ethics and our duty. We learn about ahimsa, that is non-violence. We learn that it is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that is global family. And this is my personal favorite because that is the slogan of the Ministry of India. When they say that all the world is a global family, that anyone who comes to India belongs to us, he becomes one of us, he's our guest, and they become one with us. So all the world is a family. That means India is home to anyone who comes to us. So discipline, perseverance, and innovation. This is what our ancient traditions tell us. Work-life balance through yoga philosophy. Entrepreneurship in IKS is like, when you have Ayurveda startups and wellness centers. They're coming up, they're on the rise. North India, South India, in almost all parts of India. Rural tourism based on heritage practices. Yes, a lot of entrepreneurs are coming out with products, services, and business ideas that have roots in rural areas, and they are selling ruralism in the form of packages, in the form of folklores, folk culture, and enriching the experience of the people within India and people that come from abroad to visit us. So handicrafts and local products are there for global markets, full of it. India, if we start talking now, I think it'll be 24 hours will be over, and we'll not stop talking about the handicrafts and the local products of India. They are innumerable. Then there's a lot of food entrepreneurship that is coming up, as I just talked to you about the millets and the Ayurveda-based diets. Just as I told you, because lifestyle conditions are on the rise because of, heavy workloads, sitting at one place, lot of work on laptops, screens, etc. A lot of screen time. Mostly people are sitting, and the culture of overwork that has taken deep root in our society today, which is very, very evil. That When somebody is super busy, we think that that person is very successful. This is not work-life balance. Working hours should be fixed. This is what I feel. And how can the mind and body both be in unison when the body is not getting enough rest and the mind cannot think of anything else other than work? So, as they say, the ancient wisdom tells us that you are what you eat, and we cannot deny the fact that the food wisdom of India is something which is incomparable. When they say that, you should eat till during winters, the sesame seeds, when we say that you can apply, some kind of a herbal oil on your, when you get hurt or when you fall down, when we have homeopathic medicines like arnica, if the child falls down, so immediately that child should be given arnica so that there is no internal damage, this should not spread. There are so many examples that can be given. And Ayurveda based diets are such that, they treat many conditions in the bodies. And if there is any rise and fall of the vitals in the body, then these kind of diets become very helpful. Millets, because, we have started eating so much of refined items like refined oil, refined flours, which are very, very detrimental for the body. They're not fibrous. So we know that millets have become another very popular diet today. We even get ragi pasta today. People are crazy about mixed atta rotis today. Then people are eating millet dosas and whatnot. So, and all these are very healthy for all of us. And some things which we had not eaten during the years of our childhood and growing up, because such lifestyle conditions were not, almost an epidemic, but today it is. Even younger people, in the age group of 20 to 30, 30 to 40, are falling prey to these lifestyle conditions owing to their lifestyle at work. So the diets and the other kind of wellness treatments are very in and very trendy today. Then we have cultural exports in the form of performing arts and meditation, whether it is the Kathak, whether it is the Bharatnatyam or the martial arts of Kerala, or, any performing arts, theater, storytelling sessions, etc. They are our cultural exports and people enjoy it a lot. Let's say if you visit a monument, a historical monument, most of the historical monuments are running sound and light shows today, where they tell the history of the forts or the monument with the help of sound and light. And this is something which, and there may be a dance performance also in front, supplementing the voiceover at the back. So these are our cultural exports. Now, how does global competitiveness come into picture when we talk about IKS? Because Indian IT sector and the yoga Ayurveda exports, they form a major chunk of the exports today. So it is our dual strength. This is what the people in outside India want from India. So, and it is also positioning India. IKS is also positioning India as holistic innovation hub where there is modernity, innovation, growth, development, plus the traditional value system, the Indian knowledge system that makes it complete, that makes it very unified and makes it the best combination. The comparative, and we owe it to our history, our rich history. Comparative advantages of sustainability and it goes to the wellness industries. Then IKS also promotes unique Indian brands and identity, like when we talk about Fab India, let us say, or when we talk about Zook, the brand today. So their bags, their kurtas, their linen, all are based on ancient fabric art of India. The traditional fabrics, the traditional motifs, the traditional coloring process, all is practiced, and they are branded and presented before the world as and they are pretty expensive also, but very exclusive, very indigenous, made in the mostly handlooms also. So it is developing the community also. It is bringing food to the table of the lower strata of society also. And this is how it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals and has got UN recognition also. IKS in higher education. There are dedicated IKS centers in universities, chairs are being established. There have been curriculum reforms with IKS electives. There have been so many research fellowships and projects. Then there have been faculty workshops on IKS pedagogy, and there are student clubs for IKS innovation. This is the scene in higher education. IKS and skill-based higher education. So we know that the new education policy 2020 has recommended IKS integration into multidisciplinary universities. The vocational training in yoga, Ayurveda, and handicrafts are gaining global recognition. They are also empowering women faculty to become IKS educators because women have a keen sense of attachment to the traditions. Women are the ones who mostly keep the traditions alive in homes, in society. Home is the smallest unit of society. So who keeps the tradition alive? Who keeps the customs alive in a family? That's the lady of the family, the woman of the family. And if they are professional, they are into higher education, into higher corporate houses, then they can be the best IKS educators ever. So there are research collaborations with foreign universities on IKS topics, and the foreign universities want it, adore it by all means. And IKS skill courses enhance employability in global creative industries. That's the scene. Now, let us talk about the institutional initiatives in Indian knowledge system. We know that the AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, has an IKS cell which promotes interdisciplinary research. There are division programs in IKS in the form of workshops, internships, and grants. There is funding for curriculum design and textbooks for IKS. There is community outreach to document local knowledge. Now, this is very important. Just as in we read about so many travelers visiting India and staying in the courts of the kings of those times and writing accounts. We know about Megasthenes, we know about Christopher, we know about so many travelers, Fayan, Yuan Chuang, that came to India, stayed here and wrote historic accounts of the kings of those times, about their history, about their polity, about their society, about their economy, about their warfare, about their way of life, about their, about the population, about their judicial system. All these were documented by these, scholars, and of course by the official department of the kingdoms. Now also it is time that we have to document this local knowledge, the ancient recipes, the ancient dresses, the ancient stories, etc. Now, just as today I was watching a video, I come from Lucknow. So, it was the Nawab of Awadh who are very famous. And today, a very well-known designer, Asma Hussain, she was talking about how these designs came into the Nawabi culture, from where, and how have they, taken a new shape today. The Muslims wear ghararas, and she was talking about how many kinds of gararas are there and how those fabrics are prepared, from which cloth, through handlooms, and how they become exclusive. So these are the kind of stories that have to be documented. You can see so many YouTubers today who are going to the local areas, talking about some ancient forgotten gate in some area, some ancient forgotten culinary delight of some area, and they are documenting it digitally today. And they are talking about food, the food culture, the culinary arts. They are talking to the houses of chefs, where they wish to know that where the fathers, great grandfathers were cooking, in which way, what recipes they were using, what ingredients they were using, what is the status of those dishes today. Those dishes could be the royal dishes or the dishes of the ordinary people, but they are documenting it today, and that is very required. Any local culture tradition which has not been documented should be documented for future reference. We also know that there are university-led IKS incubators for startups. We all know that universities have incubation cells where students from management, engineering, commerce, etc., from various management related courses and other fields, and some sciences also, they want to come and lay the foundation of a small business where they are given some seed money, and some patronization is given to them by the university, where they do business, start they begin with a startup and establish it and give revenue back to the university. So, IKS-led incubation is also starting in the universities now. We know that how is yoga global now, because UN has declared International Day of Yoga, which is of course a global recognition. Yoga industry is worth billions of dollars today globally. Yoga apps and digital startups are expanding reach. They are, with the help of such apps, you can easily learn about anything today. There is cross-disciplinary research on health and psychology, and India is branding itself as a wellness hub. Now, Ayurveda is integrated into global healthcare today. Wellness tourism has been driven by Ayurveda retreats. Startups in herbal cosmetics and organic foods are visible. There is research collaboration with foreign universities, and there is a rising export potential in Ayurveda products today. Let's talk about Indian handicrafts and design thinking. Traditional crafts like Madhubani, Banarasi, Varli provide unique design models. They have been integrated into global fashion, interior design, and sustainable lifestyle markets. That's so true. You you just go to YouTube, and you can see so many channels on homemaking, on home decor, and all these channels, Indian designers and decorators are talking about traditional Indian stuff now. Even uh, very high ups are going in for recycled vintage furniture and decor items in their household stuff. That is a very, very positive step. So, and people are trying to bring in, they have a theme for the house and they want to decorate it in that way. And there are so many Indian crafts to support that decor. Every craft has a story. And this is growing into, business streams like interior design, global fashion, and sustainable lifestyle markets. When we talk of Sabyasachi, when we talk of Ritu Kumar, and we talk of Rohit Pal, no, these global fashion designers are bringing in Indian elements. They are, not just designing Western dresses, but they are using Indian styles, Indian fabric, Indian embellishments, Indian looks are being created, and that is promoting the indigenous fabrics, the Indian designs, the Indian weaving into foreign countries. We know that women artisans play a critical role in innovation and preservation, of course, because they being the basic caretaker of the basic unit of society, that is home. Then there are so many e-commerce platforms that are enabling international sales of indigenous crafts. That's true. There are many craft makers and craft sellers into remote India. They are doing very good stuff, but they just to increase their sales, there are so many people in the city who are into cultural entrepreneurship and crafts entrepreneurship. They get stuff from there, and they have created e-hearts, e-markets for them, so that they can sell their products on a large scale and get sustainable money for them to survive upon. Handicrafts also support rural entrepreneurship and make in India exports, undoubtedly. Now, let's talk about agriculture. We know that again, there is revival of traditional farming techniques such as zero budget natural farming and mixed cropping today. We are going back to from where we had started, because the effect of extreme modernity is that We have completely derooted ourselves from our roots. So we need to go back. Promotion of millets as global superfoods, improving nutrition and food security. That is true. International Millet Year was also declared, and people today, when these millets on the shelves of the food stores, of the supermarkets, of the malls, are the most expensive items today, which is an oxymoron. That in spite of being extremely natural, they are very expensive. Indigenous seed preservation and organic models sustaining biodiversity and soil fertility. That's very true. Just as I told you in the beginning, that whatever kitchen peels and waste we have can be turned into fertilizers. And there is a very easy way of doing it also. We all of us know about compost, and this was our ancient system even. There is contribution to climate resilience through eco-friendly and low-carbon farming methods. That's true. Instead of using electricity-based and fuel-based techniques, they are using natural techniques, so there is climate resilience also. Then there are various government schemes and policies that link Indian knowledge system farming with global exports and markets. There is empowerment of women farmers and rural entrepreneurs through traditional agricultural knowledge. That's true. When traditional and customary items and ways of life and methods are given patronization, women tend to benefit more with them because they are at the root of these functions. They are the major workforce of India. And when it percolates to that level, the bottom level, it is very encouraging for the women because they are not just doing free work, they start getting some money also for it. Let's talk about indigenous agriculture and food security. We know that the sorry, just there is some clapping over here. Millets recognized by UN as smart food for global nutrition in 2023. Traditional irrigation, seed preservation, and organic practices are globally very relevant today. Women farmers lead in millet farming and agri entrepreneurship. Indian millet startups entering global superfood markets. This is the status now. Then IKS agriculture promotes climate resilience and food diversity. IKS is a foundation for global competitiveness because here we have our ancient sciences as modern innovation drivers. We are innovating with the foundation, with the base being our ancient sciences. NEP, the education policy of India, has emphasized IKS. India's knowledge exports are already global. The cultural capital enhances competitiveness, and the rural IKS adds inclusive growth dimension. Now, how does IKS empower women? To a great extent, because women are already present there as custodians of traditional crafts and knowledge. They are also leading Ayurveda and wellness startups today because they are at the basic level, at the root level. Then self-help groups integrate IKS into enterprises. There are so many SHGs, self-help groups working for the upliftment of women. So because women are at the bottom doing these small jobs, the so-called small jobs, but they are not getting adequate money and accessibility. Their products lack accessibility. So to give accessibility, competitive pricing, and exposure to their products, these self-help groups have come forward. There are digital tools for women's IKS entrepreneurship, and global markets are there for women-driven craft products. Handmade products, handlooms are the most favorite items everywhere today and the most expensive one. And people are willing to pay for it handsome amounts even. Continuing with women as a custodians of IKS is that women are the ones who preserve culinary traditions, craft skills, folk healing practices. Their role in rural entrepreneurship bridges IKS with sustainable livelihoods. The global recognition is already there through platforms like UNESCO's heritage listings. Heritage list has a list of ancient recipes, ancient food wisdom, ancient medicine, ancient horticulture, ancient aromatherapy, and oil therapies, whatnot. Women innovators adapt Indian knowledge system for modern lifestyles and businesses. They are happy to do that because they identify with it. It is their forte, the culture, the tradition. All these is a woman's forte, so she enjoys such activities and the entrepreneurial activity also. Women-led NGOs promote community-based IKS enterprises. Women homestay owners are promoting heritage experiences because craft villages are led by women entrepreneurs as tourist hubs. Women guides, they are preserving folk traditions for visitors. There is a culinary tourism which is led by rural women entrepreneurs. Just yesterday, I was speaking on the same topic in another university, and one of the participants shared that, some 20, 25 kilometers from his home, there is a big Haveli, and the owner, she has started, you know, cooking and serving food in the most ancient way on chula and, on iron, the girdles, tawas, etc. Then the service in, earthen utensils, etc. So it gives you a very nice feel. I still remember going to Spice Farm Goa, and there, when we were having food inside, and it was like it gave me a feeling that I am into some Harappan civilization where there were, mud pots and, mud plates and everything, and mud glasses, etc. to drink from. It really made me feel that, I'm watching some ancient I'm like watching some TV series based on ancient India, and I've been served food in that way. It was purely organic food. So that kind of an experience that participant shared with me. And and women are at the crux of it. Women are also shaping ecotourism in heritage landscapes, and there is use of digital marketing by women to attract tourists. The role of women in indigenous education systems. There are women teachers who are preserving Sanskrit, Vedic chanting, and folk learning. There is female leadership in IKS focused schools and universities. Women scholars are digitizing and publishing IKS research. Women developing IKS based curriculum for children, and female role models inspiring girls in traditional knowledge. Women in culinary heritage and food entrepreneurship. Again, this is very close to them. This is their forte. So they are, cooking traditional recipes as intangible cultural heritage. Women entrepreneurs are scaling local foods to global markets. Yes, because they are preparing it. If you go to Punjab and you get to eat makke ki roti and sarson ka saag, at a farm being cooked on mitti ka chula, and and you're just eating out in the open. You're having lassi, and it gives you such a satisfying feel, and you feel that everything is so, it is not it is unadulterated, it is natural, it is pure, and try, you immediately create, a feeling of wellness is created inside you. So it is this wellness that we are talking about. So, and millet-based products promoted by women-led startups. Women are creating organic and Ayurveda-inspired diets. That's true. Female chefs are branding Indian cuisine internationally. There's so many cookery shows. When you go to YouTube, is full of cooking shows, decor shows, ancient Indian recipes. Recipes in terms of, let us say, the desserts, the dals, the rotis, the rice, and how the local producers are used to create a variety of dishes. That is the ancient food wisdom. and what should be eaten at what time of the day, what should be eaten with what, what are the combinations, or what should be eaten at what part of the year. All these things were there to keep the mind and body healthy. And women are at the bottom of it. They know it all. So women-led cooperatives, marketing spices and condiments. Now, another example I will share over here is which I am also using, that I had been to Uttarakhand some time back. I keep going there. Last year when I had gone there, so we had an army outlet which had plenty of things, and we were allowed to go there. And we got such good organic stuff from there, the pickles, which were totally preservative free, and the taste was out of the world, which you do not get when you buy, a branded achar from any market, or you get it online. And then there were flavored salts. There is a brand called Namak Valley, which is based at Uttarakhand, and they prepare flavored salts like garlic flavored salts, like ginger flavored salt, like pudina, mint flavored salt. So whichever flavor you like, you just put it on your salad and your salad becomes so tasty. And they're extremely organic and tasty. So, this is all being led by females. Females are leading it, females are preparing it, and females are selling it, and females are gaining recognition and filling their pockets because of it. So, whatever whatever we have known as women, cooking and, serving is bringing money into our pockets too. The pedagogical tools for IKS integration, that is experiential learning, when you take field visits to traditional knowledge practitioners, like visit to an Ayurvedic doctor or an Ayurvedic hospital, visit to a sanatorium, just a visit. Then maybe visit to these kinds of entrepreneurial ventures when we talk about, Namak Valley, or, there's another outlet in Kashmir, which is by the name of Chai Jai in Srinagar. It's a modern cafe. You can sit over there, but the way they serve tea, the kettle and the cups in which they serve tea, and the flavors and the accompaniments with the tea are just purely Kashmiri. So when you go there, you know that you're having authentic Kashmiri tea and snacks over there. And it is such a beautiful experience. It is out of the world. So this is an experiential learning. Then case study method is like learning from successful IKS-based startups. There is blended learning, like combining digital resources with indigenous practices. There is peer learning, that is collaborative projects based on local crafts and traditions, and problem-solving tasks like applying ancient solutions to modern-day challenges. There are assessments in IKS-based curriculum like project-based evaluation on community, herbal garden, yoga, portfolio development like documenting skills in crafts, design, or storytelling, oral and practical exams by demonstrating traditional knowledge applications, this peer and community feedback when local stakeholders act as evaluators, and innovation challenges like rewarding new products inspired by IKS. Global entrepreneurship from IKEA startups is like growth of Ayurveda, handicrafts, millet-based food, ecotourism startups. There are government schemes like Startup India promote IKS-led innovation. Women-led enterprises increasingly drive exports and job creation. Venture capital interest in IKS-based products and services, and IKS startups aligned with SDGs and sustainable global markets. There's also IKS and skill-based curriculum in the form of indigenous arts and ecological practices in curriculum, like, at schools or in any other, maybe the art students or the fine arts may have pottery making as an exercise, enhancing employability plus innovation. There is heritage-based vocational training. For example, if there is a polytechnic and they are running courses on fashion designing, so their designing could be based on heritage traditions of India, designing heritage dresses on heritage fabrics. There are MOOCs for IKS learning, like massive online open courses, which anybody can join and gain from. There are industry linkages for IKS based jobs also. Now let's link sustainability with IKS. We already know about eco-friendly farming and water management. We know about traditional architecture that is equal to that means of climate solutions. There is zero waste indigenous practices. The UN has recognized IKS in sustainability, and there are global green economy links. Now, what is IKS in sustainable architecture? It is when there is use of eco-friendly materials like mud, bamboo, lime, and plaster. There are traditional designs ensuring natural ventilation and energy efficiency. Uh, when you visit any historical monument, let us say take a very day-to-day example like Red Fort or Agra Fort. You go there and even it is you go there in very dry summers or very in very heated conditions when the heat is on the rise, the heat wave is going on. But when you enter these monuments and you are moving inside them, you don't feel that intensity of heat. Why? Because they have been constructed in a way which makes them cooler. The walls are very thick. There is the ventilation system is such that you never feel sweaty or uneasy. There are a lot of water bodies around and water channels inside which make the environment inside a little more cool. And they it is a natural ventilation system that has been followed by specific architectural principles. What makes them cooler is their material that has been used, the dimensions that have been used, the directions that have been taken to build doors, windows, jharokas, etc. All this makes it easier to face the weather or the climate. Now, eco-friendly materials are on the rise today. We have, and you see that when you start nearing hill stations, now the government is trying to put a stop on industrialization and factory systems, or to, minimize the pollution around the hills today. So you see that most of the, stopovers or eating joints are being built on such eco-friendly materials. Many a times you will see that they are of mud and bamboo, the seating arrangement. You will just feel that you have entered into ancient Indian civilization, and you are sitting there eating there and you enjoy it. And these materials are being used just to promote ecotourism, which does not harm the environment at any cost. There's a growing demand in ecotourism and green building projects, and vernacular architecture inspires modern smart cities. There are global architects that adopt Indian models for sustainable design. Classical music and performing arts and innovation that we know about the Indian ragas inspire music therapy, meditation, and creativity in workplaces. That is IKS into corporate houses. Where, when you enter a hotel, a five-star hotel or so, and everybody's busy working, at the counter, at the reception, at various places. The lifts are busy, the people are busy checking in, checking out. The staff is moving from one place to another, carrying luggage, carrying, other items in their hands, and all are very busy. But a very soft instrumental music will be, going on in the background, which could be a sitar recital or a bansuri recital or something like that. So this is how we bring our Indian knowledge system, our ancient arts and traditions into practice. So that is the music therapy, the meditation, and the creativity in workplaces. We know about Kathak, we know about Bharatnatyam that enhance storytelling and brand communication globally. This is so true. I mean, it occurs to me right now when I'm reading the slide that communication, when you watch a Kathak performance or when you watch a Bharatanatyam performance, there is always story in that dance performance. It's not just gyrating and making moves to a beat, but it is a story being told and expressions on your face. It is more of abhinay and mudra rather than gyrating movements. So, and this is a kind of communication. And this strategy has been used by corporate houses for brand communications. We know that women performers are cultural ambassadors of IKS worldwide. Indian performing arts contribute to global creative industries. And fusion of IKS with digital platform expands global reach. When it comes to vocational and professional education, IKS is evident and makes its presence felt in the form of Ayurveda for wellness tourism that links health with entrepreneurship. There is culinary heritage like traditional recipes, food science, and nutrition. There is sustainable architecture, that is Vastu principles and eco-friendly housing. Traditional water management systems like step wells and rainwater harvesting. Astrology and astronomy in cultural significance and mathematical skills. And there's folk theater and puppetry, which tells us about communication, marketing, and performance. Very true. Puppetry, when a puppeteer holds a puppet in the hand, he speaks, and with the movement of the hands, the puppet moves, and we come to know about how, with the help of his hand, and he can communicate with the means of a puppet and tell stories and communicate even a strong message or an ancient folklore to us. IKS in assessment and evaluation. When it is project-based learning, you can have projects on herbal gardens, yoga workshops, you can have portfolios documenting storytelling and art and design. Then you can have practical exams on chanting, recitation, or rituals, that is oral tradition. Local experts can come as assessors. That could be a kind of community evaluation. Then IKS inspired product design challenges are there as innovation competitions. And reflective journals link personal growth with IKS practices. When it comes to digital innovation, we know that there is AI for documenting IKS, there is yoga and Ayurveda apps, there is blockchain to protect indigenous knowledge, there are startups scaling IKS globally, and VR heritage experiences for virtual reality heritage experiences for education and tourism. There are virtual reality tours to all heritage places in India and abroad. Now, the global collaborations. There is a memorandum of understanding on Ayurveda and yoga research. There are joint products with international universities. Indian diaspora is driving global IKS demand. There is rising export of Ayurveda crafts and wellness. International conferences and workshops are being held on IKS. IKS chairs are being set up in foreign universities. That's a very positive step. And cross-cultural innovations and joint startups are again rising. The policy and institutional pathways, we know that the NEP 2020 has integrated knowledge systems into curriculum. Then the All India Council for Technical Education has taken initiatives for research and education. The University Grants Commission is promoting faculty training programs on IKS. National Indian Knowledge Systems Mission has started funding for startups and innovation. And state level IKS centers in universities and institutes like BHU, Banaras Hindu University, and Indian Institute of Technology have already started. The future outlook is to blend tradition with technology. Then IKS based entrepreneurship also supports the idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat. There is inclusion of women and rural IKS custodians. India emerges as a hub of values and innovation, and that globalizes Indian culture through education. What are the challenges that come when we wish to integrate IKS? That is lack of awareness among students. They hardly know about the ancient Indian systems. The faculty is also trained, but in a very limited way, and not much of the faculty has been trained. There are documentation gaps in indigenous knowledge, because of which trainings and trainings and trainees both have less literature to follow on IKS. There is risk of commercialization without authenticity, and there's a need for global standardization of IKS. When it comes to opportunities for research, we know that there are comparative studies between IKS and Western models to highlight complementarities and unique strengths. There is use of AI and digital tools for documenting, analyzing, and preserving indigenous knowledge. There are case studies on entrepreneurship that showcase successful IKS-based startups and women-led enterprises. There is research on the global acceptance and integration of Ayurveda, yoga, and traditional medicine into healthcare systems. And there are interdisciplinary collaborations combining IKS with STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for innovation. What is the role of youth over here? They are innovators in IKS-based startups. They are being trained in incubation cells of the university, and then they become full-fledged, they launch their startups. There are college clubs that promote IKS awareness. There is digital content creation on yoga, Ayurveda, and other crafts. There is youth-led heritage and ecotourism initiatives into these clubs, into these schools. Social entrepreneurship is also being used. Social entrepreneurship is using indigenous knowledge, and there are global ambassadors of IKS through study and work abroad. Uh, the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning is there for IKS analysis. There are digital libraries that preserve ancient manuscripts and texts, and the university that I come from, that is Aligarh Muslim University, has a library, and our library is one of the largest libraries in Asia, has a very extensive, big manuscript division, and we boast of many ancient manuscripts that have been kept alive till today. They are always available for visitors to see, and that's a wonderful section of our library, which any visitor who comes to AMU wants to see that manuscript division. There are online marketplaces promoting IKS-based products, blockchain technology for protecting IKS knowledge and data, and gamification tools to make IKS learning engaging. How is the international recognition of IKS? What is the status over there? We know that the United Nations has declared an International Yoga Day. World Health Organization has accepted Ayurveda. UN declared to 2023 is International Year of Millets. There is a growing global demand for Indian handicrafts and crafts-based industries, and there is worldwide recognition for the study of Sanskrit texts. How do we digitalize IKS knowledge repositories? Governments and universities are digitizing these manuscripts, oral traditions, and folk practices. There are online platforms that make IKS accessible for global researchers. Women scholars contribute to preserving and curating IKS archives. AI is being used for text translation of ancient Indian scripts, and virtual museums increase global visibility of IKS heritage. So these virtual museums are doing a lot of help in this regard. Now, here are the recommendations for strengthening IKS. How do we strengthen it? By integrating IKS into curriculum, promoting entrepreneurship based on IKS practices, encouraging women and rural innovators in IKS, leveraging technology to scale IKS globally, and ensuring strong policy support for funding and research. So we come to a conclusion where we say that Indian knowledge systems are India's unique global competitive advantage, which combines skills, values, and entrepreneurship. It aligns with National Education Policy 2020 and Sustainable Development Goals. It supports Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliant India, and global leadership. And it is a pathway which brings tradition plus innovation together and leads to competitiveness. So I think there should be some time for, uh, you know, question and answers also. So I am all set for that.
Yes, ma'am. Participants, do you have questions? Well, before starting the questions, I would really like to say a few words about Professor Sheeba Hamid. It is always pleasant, madam, to hear your flawless language, which is, of course, anchored with a rigorous thought. Today, the presentation which you gave on Indian knowledge system and entrepreneurship, it was really wonderful, and I think it is one of the most important lectures which I have heard in this refresher courses, especially related to women in indigenous eco education system. That is very important. And considering the talent, creativity of our students, I think the teachers should definitely take this lecture seriously and take the initiatives which Madam has suggested and work on it. So over to you, participants. Participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Sheeba ma'am, could you please off the video so that we can go for the question answer session? Just stop sharing.
Actually, yesterday when I took this, it ran till 4:30 exactly. But I think today I have sped up so that there could be some interaction.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, participants, do you have any questions? Please go ahead.
I don't think they have any question. So
Yeah, we will go for this vote of thanks. Dr. Gang.
Yes, ma'am. Very good evening, everyone. Ma'am, can you hear me?
yes,
Yeah. Very good evening, everyone. I extend my sincere gratitude to our distinguished resource person for delivering such an insightful and thought-provoking session on indigenous system and women empowerment, and your reflections on women as a custodians of traditional wisdom and their pivotal role in rural tourism through IKS, and their contributions to the indigenous education system and their preservation of culinary heritage while excelling as a food entrepreneurs have truly inspired us. And what you can say, ma'am, you don't believe that while you're explaining here, Dr. Divya, who is a tribal studies faculty who is sitting with me, she followed all the topics what we explained. She was very happy with that because especially when you spoken about women empowerment, so motivated many like women like who is there, my colleague Dr. Divya. I felt very happy when heard about those concepts, especially you spoken about women tourism and as well as rural empowerment and all these concepts in highlighted modes, ma'am. It is very wonderful lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of all the participants, I thank you so much.
thank you so much, all the participants, and Dr. Gangu for introducing me and then giving vote of thanks also. I cannot thank Madhuri enough for inviting me and giving me this opportunity on a very, very new but very interesting and pertinent topic. I'm so happy that I have another topic on my list of lectures and training programs now. And let me tell you that I've really enjoyed this topic, preparing, speaking, etc., and look forward to meeting many such budding teachers, faculty, and looking forward to many such fruitful discussions in future also. Thank you so much, Dr. Madhuri.
And always welcome. A good opportunity for our participants to hear you. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you. Can I
accepting
take your
our
leave now?
invitation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Participants, we still have 15 minutes to go. So we will be waiting for our next resource person. Professor Dr. Chitale, Namaskar, sir.
Yes, namaste.
Yeah. Okay, so we finished the earlier lecture a bit soon. So we can start your lecture, sir.
Fine. So please allow me to share.
Yes, participants, please do the introduction part.
मी share करू माझ्या slides?
हो
Okay,
सर, हो
ma'am.
सर, करा.
2 मिनिटं.
येस सर. नाही, मला वाटतं इंट्रोडक्शन सुरू करा. सर शेअर करतील सर.
Okay, madam. Good afternoon to all respected dignitaries, faculty members, and dear participation joining us online. I, Assistant Professor Bhugesh Sandeep, College of Education, Nevasa, District Ahilyanagar, Appellation University of Pune. I warmly welcome to all of this online RC in IKS skill-based curriculum development organized by Dr. Bamu, MMTTC, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce today's session. Distinguished resource person, allow me to present a brief biodata of our eminent speaker who will be guidance us in this session. Today's guide resource person of this session is Dr. Capt. CM Chitale, sir.
Namaste.
Sir, education qualification, BSc, Diploma of Business Management, and Master in Management Studies and PhD. Their total career span 49 years, 1975 till date. These follow. First, served in Indian Army for 5 years in 4 Dogra Regiment, released due to injuries sustained during commando course. Second, served in industry for 12 years as HR and admin manager. Third, total teaching experience 14 years, including visiting for HOD of Pune University, Master in Business Administration and Dean of Faculty of Management. And fifth, serve as registrar and various staff positions such as Finance Officer, Director of BCUD, Center of BCUD and Center of Excellence, and additional charge during crucial situation. 20 student our PhD under Sir's guidance. Sir has honor with various awards of this work as follow. First is Emeritus Fellow by University Grant Commission. Second is Veteran Achiever Award from the Chief of Army Staff for his contribution of rehabilitation of disabled soldiers. Third is Paul Harris Fellow Award by Rotary and International. And fourth is Professor Y.K. Bhushan Award, Best Teacher Award. So this is a brief introduction of our honorable resource person. Now I kindly invite Dr. Captain Chitale sir to deliver the session and share valuable insight with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for a nice introduction. In continuation with my earlier session last week, where I started a discussion, teacher as a change agent. And now today, the topic is importance of skill development. I have selected this particular topic with a purpose because when I take a position that teacher is a change agent, teacher is a leader, and our job is basically to develop future citizens. And nowadays with NEP, National Education Policy 2020, there's a lot of importance, lot of stress on skill development. A lot of components were added in our academic. So I thought that I should share this particular presentation, and while doing so, I will also give my experience, because presentation is one thing, but then it is better with such a august gathering for all teachers. If I start sharing some of my experiences, positive or negative, that will be benefit for you, and as well as whenever you will get an opportunity at the end of the lecture. I think today we'll get about 10 minutes more. So I'll be very happy to know and learn from you. So what is happening and whether you agree with my views or not. So the presentation topic title is Importance of Skill Development. Can you hear me and can you see the slides?
Ji, sir, you
Yes,
can
sir.
please continue. Yes.
So when this particular topic I decided, this is my old slide, so I'm going to talk about that. But then why so? Why importance of skill development, especially in a VUCA world for students? I think in my last session, I already talked about what is VUCA world. We all live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. We all universities, or all university affiliated colleges, we are in VUCA, and also the private college. But we feel the what you call more about this VUCA because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What will be the changes in directives and all that. Every now and then, this morning, whatever I talk, this on my view. If you like it, take it. Otherwise, just leave it. There should not be any discussion on that. This morning, I was discussing with my head of the department. She called me. Our MBA session for this year started day before yesterday. Been there for induction program. Now, completing the syllabus of first semester is a challenge since we start late. And then there are a lot many directives for the government of Maharashtra to carry out various activities by the students on the campus. And we were discussing whether we should concentrate on this or whether we should concentrate on the study. I think you all also must be experienced in that. कहने का मतलब टीचिंग और लर्निंग छोड़ के अगर कुछ करना, ठीक है, स्वच्छता करना है, मैं मानता हूँ करना पड़ेगा, एक दिन करो, लेकिन ऐसे बहुत सारे 8-10 प्रोग्राम, ये भी करो, वो भी करो, वो स्टडी कब सिखाएंगे आप, कब ये लोग सीखेंगे? ये एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन हमारे सामने आता है. मेरे ख्याल से ये क्वेश्चन आपके सामने भी आया हो. इसके ऊपर हम बात तो नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि अगर गवर्नमेंट का डायरेक्टिव है तो हमें सुनना ही पड़ता. But at the same time, when I say VUCA world, I think this is what. कि we don't know what is going to happen. कल कौन सा दिन मनाने जा रहे हैं हम, पता नहीं. आज पता चलेगा कि ये कल करो, हेल्थ के बारे में, हाइजीन के बारे में करो. ये सभी चीजें अच्छे हैं, ये प्रोग्राम का ऑब्जेक्टिव अच्छा है, बट देन आई थिंक मेन फोकस शुड बी ऑन द academics. So let's discuss. I'm just started this. So importance of skill development, basically keeping VUCA world for the student, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world for the student. I think last time I also told you when we were talking about Paravidya and Aparavidya and self-realization, I have mentioned that when we do SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat, I think this is an analysis, self-analysis is nothing but self-realization, that is called Paravidya. We'll talk a little more today because it's not just doing strengths and weaknesses, but how to go about it, how to make a student to know himself or herself. That is very important. That I think I'm going to share with you my experience. Secondly, last session also I made a mention. There's no slide, but I again repeat the easier version given by one of the Harvard professors, VUCA, VUCA 2.0, VUCA 2.0. What it means, V stands for vision, U stands for understanding, VU, C for courage, and A for adaptability. I repeat, I hope you have notebooks in front of you. I hope you are writing. Not because, I'm supposed to set some paper also. That's why I'm just giving you a clue. VUCA. V for vision, U for understanding, C for courage, and A for adaptability. I think this is more relevant for our students. How to make use of this, we'll discuss it later. The question is, what is a skill development? Skill development is a process. Identifying one's skill gaps and developing and honing these skills. Identifying skill gaps and honing the skills. Basically, it is required to be correlated with the goals. Now, here starts the main issue. During college, undergraduates, I have experience that our students are not clear what exactly they want to do. I think that is the reality. Because especially those who are joined engineering after second year or doctors, they are already decided, so they are there. But especially for the science, arts, commerce, if you just take a survey of the student, exactly when you are taking this BSc chemistry or BSc physics or any other subject like BCom or BA, what you want to be, I think at that particular stage it is not. Probably they are trying to get a graduation, and most probably thereafter they are trying to work for some national level examination or MPSC, Maharashtra Public Service Commission, or UPSC. Again, they spend 2, 3 years for study. If they get through, well and good. If they don't, then probably they get a lot of frustration. That is what we are observing these days. So goal setting is a very important. When you are pursuing, say, and I think all subjects are good. What Apara Vidya, all subjects, whether it's history, chemistry, or physics, chemistry, physics, they are proper. I mean, one can develop himself as a chemist and can join. It's not only joining a particular company, but they can start something on their own, or they can go for research. I think that when goal setting is done, then probably skill development takes a proportion. So identifying your skill gap to achieve that particular goal, what are the skill gaps, and developing and honing these skills is a main game. Skill development is important because your skills determine your ability to execute your plans with success. Say, for example, I've gone through that. My drafting was not good. I think I shared last time. I also shared that particular concept called Johari window. I think we should, in all colleges, in the very first semester, in the very first month, we have to call this OB teacher or the person who is teaching management and to conduct a guest lecture on Johari window, because that exactly is a start point for skill development. When I do self-analysis, when I do SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, I think I should know my weaknesses, my blind areas, basically. Not weaknesses, my blind area. Because weaknesses that person is aware of, no issue. But there are certain traits or there are certain factors of a personality which that person is not aware, but the others around him, his friends, his juniors, his teachers, or his parents, they are aware of those blind areas, and at times they keep on giving feedback to that individual. Now, this feedback, knowing this feedback, and if the one particular feedback, if somebody is getting from couple of people, that means that is the blind area for this particular person, and he is required to develop. If suppose a person who has studied in say Marathi medium and Marathi to English conversion is very difficult. I've gone through that. And at some stage of my career, I got a feedback that my English is not good. In fact, that still remember the word. Your English is horrible. Now that was true story given to me by my commanding officer. And thereafter, he took the mentorship and he developed it. That is very when we know about our students and we have to take a mentor. That's what we are changing. We have to develop this. We have to develop this language. You have to develop this drafting skill. You have to develop this communication. You should be able to go on the stage and give a lecture for 5-10 minutes. And such efforts we have to do apart from whatever subject we are doing. Drafting, because we never teach drafting. And drafting is required in any walk of life. Not only in just bureaucrat, even if it's a teacher, we should know what is drafting. And drafting is, so what I intend to communicate to my receiver, I should be able to put it in the right way, right language, whether it's English or Marathi local language or Hindi. Now, for that matter, Marathi drafting is the most difficult because when we talk Marathi, there are a lot of English words added. So, for a particular word, I think we'll have to find out from the dictionary, Marathi dictionary, okay, what is the word for this particular English word. This happens. So, I think that blind, if you start identifying, I think that will be better for. I think last time I already shared what is a career. Career is an individual's metamorphical journey through learning, work, and other aspects of life. I also told about these stages: exploration, establishment, and mainly we all teachers, when we are dealing with college students, exploration, whether they are undergrad or postgrad, and that is a crucial period for one's life. For example, take why we should insist that a student should join NCC. Because 2 years training or 3 years training in NCC makes his or her personality. Unfortunately, we don't have that compulsory. Till 1963, NCC for 2 years was compulsory. I know my brother, elder brother, when he was occupation college, 63, 62, it was a compulsory. But thereafter, the government is not making compulsory. There is a lot of debate that we should make NCC compulsory. But if not compulsory, at least if there is an NCC in your office, or even for that matter, NSS, fine. Please excuse me 2 minutes. There's something at my door. What are they? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Earlier also you have heard, no? My talk? No. Just give me feedback. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No issue, no?
No issue.
No problem.
Fine. I'll continue. So, when we deal our students in exploration stage, and that is the stage I believe that we must develop them different skills. We must give them an exposure for, say, arranging certain programs, whether it is a seminar or any sports event, because through in our NEP we are talking on-job training. Now that kind of on-job training we can train our students in our campus also, in our office also. We can make our students sit in an office for 2 hours and see how office work. That is the on-job training. We need not, worry whether the industry is giving us an opportunity to learn or not. As a management student, when I was a head, normally students used to give a ring to a manager for their placement, and they used to sit in front of me and they will say, sir, please speak. Then I stopped that. I said, no, I will not talk. You give a ring, introduce yourself, and you talk, because this is a communication. What you intend to achieve, you should be able to talk to people. And then they used to say, we want to come and call on you and we want to distribute our placement. I said, this is a very wrong word. Why distribute? They are not interested to take your placement browser. So I used to tell them, no, this is not a right English. So you say, we want to call on you. We want to come to your factory or office and we want to present our brochure. I think that is right, I suppose. And this is how I have developed them, by asking them, sitting in front of, and later on then we made a cell and the cell started doing all this. Cell means student cell. Because in my department, our department, we always say that we're a student-driven department. We don't, whether it's a placement, whether it's a seminar cell, whether it's an entrepreneurship development cell, or any other sports activity, everything, we have a cell, there is a chairman, and then they are required to conduct the activity throughout. After the first year, when the juniors come to second year, the second year, when they are passing out, they hand over the charge to the juniors. So it is also development of the future batches. Alumni cell, very important alumni cell. And yes, just last week when one of the alumni who's a businessman, a biotech person, he was remembering our lectures and all that. And he said, I learned all these skills, very important, all these skills in management while working in cells in Pumba. Pumba is my Department of Management. I think, yes, that is how we have to inculcate that habit of them. I'm just giving some examples, right? I'm sure in your colleges, respective colleges, you are also doing a lot of experiment, because ultimately, as a teacher, we have to do experiments. At times we get a good result, at times probably we may fail. It's not necessary that every time we'll achieve a success. My elder brother was a principal at the time of his retirement, but he was throughout in a Ferguson college, but more than 40 years he has served. A chemistry teacher, but he was very popular among students. Difference between me and him, yes, he was a popular teacher. I'm not saying I'm not popular, but he was a hardcore teacher, and I consider myself, I'm not hardcore teacher, because actually I'm a first manager and then a teacher. There's a difference. दोनों के स्वभाव में थोड़ा डिफरेंस. वो घंटा घंटा लोगों के साथ बात करके काउंसलिंग करके उनको मोटिवेट करेगा, टाइम देगा, आफ्टर ऑफिस आवर्स बैठेगा ऑफिस में, and then different cells, whether it is a cleaning exercise or anything, any event, and he was there with them. Even after his retirement, student used to come and meet. Now, difference between me and him, whenever there's a work, okay, students are there, okay, I'll do my job. But once the job is done, I'll say, you go on, now come on, take on. That is the difference. Because my job to develop managers, my job to develop skills. And then when we are giving them a feedback, these feedbacks are very important. I have analyzed certain things. Like suppose some person is doing only, shining, what we call shining. He will go in front of head, he will go in front, he will come in front of me and try to talk good about me. One or two times I have realized that this fellow is useless. I mean, he is not good. So I told him, better improve, because this particular habit is going to create a problem in the industry. I gave him feedback. Believe me. I gave him feedback, and I'm sorry, I used this word, you are a useless fellow. Because there's nothing wrong in to call a spade. Because I'm a teacher, and I thought that he was a user, and he was. Believe me, after he joined some company, I don't know which company, the manager concerned wrote a letter to my head. I was not head then. Wrote a letter to my head of the department because so-and-so had joined my company, and he was asking you what type of product you are churning out. He is a useless fellow. I'm not trying to say I was right and all that, but we have that evaluation capacity. And this is how we have to develop people. At times, when you give a negative feedback, I don't think a student will like it. But then ultimately, we have to develop them. One more case. I was a leader then, not head, number 2 in the department. And one senior manager from Telco, he came to me from, this is a story of Pune University. The moment senior manager of a big company came, so placement coordinator, a girl, came and accompanied. They were sitting in front of me. Actually, he never came for the placement, but probably I knew him, so he called on me, and then he wanted to go to one of the halls in the main building, which is a walking distance from my department. So after having a cup of tea and all that, just spending 15-20 minutes, then he asked me, Captain, where is this hall, Dhaneshwar Hall? So I told And before that, what happened? Before that, this girl opened a topic, sir, about placement. Huh? She started talking. So this fellow said, this year we are not going to any institute for placement. He said, the moment she heard this, she walked out from my office. And I felt very bad. This is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Then I had to catch hold of some other student to escort him and then direct him to the Dhaneshwar. After that, I called that girl. Here comes the role of a mentor. I called that girl and asked her to sit in front of me. I said, what have you done? Because that fellow has said that there is no placement this year. You immediately walked out. What kind of character you have shown to this fellow? They may not be having placement this year, but at least you should have walked. You should have escorted him up to the Dhaneshwar Hall. 5-10 minutes, you will get an opportunity to discuss. Probably this year they don't have a placement, but next year or next year thereafter he will come. Besides, our students should know how to develop rapport, how to develop interpersonal relationships. But I found it is all materialistic relationship, and this is wrong. Just because telco is not having a scope for campus, so we should neglect that fellow. That is not correct. I don't know whether that girl has taken seriously or not, but I think as a teacher, I have to do my job. Fine. I hope I'm trying to explain what exactly the skill development. This is the skill development. So during exploration stage and all that, we are there and we have to keep on talking. Okay. Goal achievement, your skills are your tools. You require a skill. Now, basically, the other day I was talking in some other forum. Now, skill development training involves a deliberate process of learning, improving, reinforcing abilities to enhance personal and professional growth. Personal and professional growth. Now, what we are talking about skill development is not only for the college students. Once they start their career, after getting establishment, and thereafter also, the concerned companies also take care of developing themselves, because we have a lot of training and development programs nowadays called learning and development. Learning and development, L&D. Earlier it was called training and development, because any such program is a learning. And learning and development, L&D, is a absolutely right title, learning and development. So you put everybody, I mean, at various levels, when we are trying to develop a officer for the next assistant manager job, we are required to put him in some development program. But why for officers? When a worker is required to be developed as a leading hand or a supervisor, again 3 months training program in some companies, and very serious training program. After 18 years of service, the worker is required to be, because every individual requires a growth. Every individual have an aspiration, and that particular aspiration helps him or her to grow, to go further. Same is applicable to our students. Today we are talking about skill development. Probably after they join industry or profession or a bank, they will put them through, because when we concentrate on the development of an individual here, we are taking care of the organization. What industry requires, that kind of a personnel, if you prepare, attitude, skills, and knowledge, that is what industry requires. Ask. The right time or attitude, right? Last time I told you about that, yes, coming on time, attending lecture, positive attitude, time management. These are the attitudes and minimum. Skills, various skills. How to communicate, how to present, how to pursue, how to move around, how to develop interpersonal relations. Very important. Because in any company, a person is not going to work in isolation. He or she should know how to work in a team. Very, very important aspect. You talk about any profession, whether it is army, whether it is a bureaucracy, bureaucrats, or even as a teacher. We are not working in isolation. We have to have a team. We have to have a proper group because that is very important for that college or for that university. What is happening? You all are the benches. I don't want to comment on that. But actually, we have to work as a group. Some foreign, not foreigner, Indian who served in London Business School and all that. He visited my institute. So I arranged an interactive session. So he was saying, he shared with us that in their academic institution, every Saturday, all teachers used to come together and have some meaningful discussion about what happened in last week, what problems a particular person, if at all, he has faced, and what is a probable solution. And then there are senior professors sitting there, and they used to take a mentorship of junior professor. Now, for us also, mentorship is very important. Unfortunately, I believe, or rather, I have experienced that there is no such concept that a senior teacher is taking mentorship for a junior teacher for development him or her. We'll discuss this later when I will ask you to interact. Please note down this point. I may be wrong. I may be wrong in my observation, but this is what is my last 35, 40 years of experience, and I've seen the change. I've seen the change. I'm a witness for the change, what is happening. So, let's go. What? Now, these are the hard skills. A degree, academic qualification, yes, that is must. And that is a base. Whichever branch, that is a base. One should not forget till they get a job because ultimately they are trying to develop. You may not use that particular knowledge. But suppose someone a BSc, MSc chemistry joining a chemical company, yes, he can use. Physics, yes. But then the basic of that graduation, that impact is also required. And that's why with the subject, we should have this add-on skill development. Okay, here is a student, is a maybe BA, but he's good in communication, he is good in problem solving, he is good in other things, say decision making. Now, here again, I give a reference of Indra Nui, former chairman of PepsiCo, what she talked about hip pocket skill, very important, hip pocket skill. According to her, hip pocket skills are those skills where one should be expert, maybe a problem solving, maybe a communication, maybe a decision making. And the people in the organization should depend on this. Oh, okay, the problem is there, let's go back to this. That is what hip pocket. And hip pocket skills are required to be nurtured. It is required to be developed. After having served in various institutions, yes, my decision making is good. I consider, yes. My communication is good. Problem solving is good. And yes, that's why I survived. But over a period of time, I have developed that. Not in my first phase. I remember when I started teaching in Symbiosis, 1985, as a visiting faculty. First 2-3 years were very tough. Very tough. Because I used to read from my notebook and I used to tell, later on I realized this is not teaching. I have to get my experience. If I'm working in the industry, so I have to get. And that is why here comes the importance of research. Because madam insisted me that research के ऊपर ही हो. When we do research in our respective area, we have to bring that knowledge in the class and share that knowledge and make our student their analytical mind. Okay, how to view a particular subject or a situation and how to do analysis to the current. This is a very important skill we must inculcate. So when I bring my research findings or research experience, I try to develop that interest among students because normally in our management we say that for a senior classes, like for example, when I'm dealing with executive MBA, very senior, those who are having experience, for them I did not teach, I have to evolve knowledge. They have experience of everything, planning, organizing and all subjects. as a senior teacher and with the experience of industry and all that, I should create a situation where they develop. Like at that level, they are required to be develop different skill set. I'll give you an example. So performance appraisal. When I'm teaching performance appraisal, I hope you know performance appraisal, we do have a forms. And the forms are required to be filled by the boss, the reporting officer. It is observed that in industry it is considered as a tick marking, whereas it is not. So I just start my class. If performers, like a hypothesis, performance appraisal is a tick mark exercise. Comment, let's discuss for half an hour. Initially they won't talk and then they start because most of them are appraisers. They have gone through their appraisees also. And then we start and they realize, yes, it is a tick mark. So what is required to be done? How to evaluate or assess the performance of a subordinate is a skill at that level. When I'm teaching, say, fresh, those who don't have any experience, work experience, then probably my focus should be different. I may concentrate on, say, task, give them task and judge, or give them some assignment. I remember way back when I was teaching my favorite subject, principles and practices of management. After one or two sessions in the class, I asked the feedback, how my teaching, how you are receiving my teaching. So one BCom student, because this subject is there for BCom also. So one student from BCom stream, he stood up and he said, "Sir, this is nothing new. We have learned this in BCom classes. This was challenging for me." I said, "Okay, I'll stop teaching." Then that time only I gave a task. You go down, there are two notice boards. Observe those notice boards, the notices, and make a report as if I'm giving you assignment. If I give you a task, you put this notice board in proper way. Like in ISO, International Standard Organization, we are required to write the system. So I told them, look, write a system how to maintain a notice board outside our office. This was a task given when I stopped teaching that day. I said, you take one day, the next class, I want your answer. And then next class, when they came, then I started digging. Now, this is how the real skill develops. People say, yes, we observed, there were some notices, they were not properly pinned, this, that. So I just asked them a question when I started interacting. Have you taken the measurement of the notice board? What is the area available for use? Have you classified the notices? Have you tried to find out how the notices are put? Are they just abruptly they are put? Because normally the notice boards are we find a lot of different pictures. There's one notice with one pin in between, and that notice is hanging. This is not the way. If we do a say classification, ABC, A important notice, B not that important, C general. So if you can make that some color code and ribbons and all that, we can put the notices in a proper way, eye-catching way, so that once we do that, once we write the system, yes, we can implement that. Secondly, once the notice is there and the activity is required to be completed within a week, say last date is say 18th of September. 19th of September, that notice is required to be taken. That this is required to be written in the system. So I asked them to write a system, and thereafter I gave a task to a couple of students. Here onwards, we will start maintaining or implementing the system with coordination with the office. The system development is not that easy. From such small activity, yes, we can develop that culture. I think I'm giving sufficient examples to how to develop. It's not only the communication and decision making and problem solving, entrepreneuring, no. Through small exercises also we can. Industry specific certification, there are a lot of certificates nowadays. Along with this normal our academics, they have to learn a lot of technology, basically AI, machine learning, data science. These are the buzzwords. Everybody is talking about chat GPT and whatnot. But at the same time, we have to tell them you have to learn that. But at the same time, don't stop using your brain. This is very important message we all teachers should give to the students. I repeat, they have to have an analytical mind, ability to solve the problem, perceiving a situation properly. These are the skills we require in any field. Any field. Problem solving. But for a problem, one should know what is the real problem, the crux of the problem. What is that crux? Then we can find the solution. If you start using chat GPT and other things, then we probably we are making our students to stop using their brains. This is a dangerous thing. The other day I had been to my department and we were having lunch, and after lunch I was having my lecture. So one of my colleagues, a professor, he put on a chat GPT what Captain Chitale is going to talk in induction. Believe me, within a minute or less than a minute, the points which I am going to talk, it came, because earlier they must have captured my earlier talk, and all those points came. And he said, sir, you are going to talk this. Then I jokingly said, okay, now I'll go home. You go to the auditorium and write out all the points. Now this is what fast. बैठे बैठे उधर इसने बोला कि फलाने फलाने प्रोफेसर के ऊपर एक कविता करो. Within a minute कविता आ गई. This is what is happening. We were not exposed to this kind of techniques, but at the same time, as a teacher, we should tell our students that you have to use your brains, you have to have an analytical mind, and then there are ample scope while they are learning. So, industry-specific certification, coding ability, foreign language skills, they should know one or two foreign language, because it is not only in India. I mean, when we talk about our demographic dividend, young force, 29 is the age, they have a scope. Of course, VUCA world, we don't know what is going to happen in UK and US. I know, but maybe after 1 year, 2 years, the situation may change. And when a person is having a skill and ability, he or she can go anywhere. Anywhere. Let's be very clear. Now, lot many foreign companies are coming here, so you should know that particular language. I remember way back, one of my students, he had joined German company, Siemens. He was in Bharat Forge and he was not at all happy about the work. He went there, not knowing German language, but within a couple of months, he had to learn German. Every year, whenever he used to come for leave, he used to come and share his experiences. And his career path was so fast. Within 3 or 4 years, he became a director, moving in Mercedes. When he used to come to Pune, he used to move on his Luna, a small moped. And he said, sir, I have to learn. And then thereafter also, he joined some Harvard class on company sponsored, because it's a continuous learning. Now, this is one message we have to give to our students. It is a continuous learning. It is not only these 4 years or 3 years of a college. Your learning is complete. Typing speed, SEO, search engine optimization, bookkeeping, and computer skill. These are the hard skills. I'll not talk more on that. Let's go further. Now here comes the soft skill. When we talk about skill development, I think these are the very important skills. Adaptability, communication, conflict resolution. If we just concentrate on these are nothing but the syllabus of our PPM or OB. Teamwork, work ethics. Now, how to develop this apart from our academic? Adaptability. Anukula Kshamata. Anukulana Kshamata. In VUCA 2.0 is also talk about last, adaptability. VUCA, vision, understanding, courage and adaptability. I think we should teach our students, look, wherever you are posted, wherever you are gone, you have to get adapted to the situation. Today you are in a class 1 city, but tomorrow you will go in, you have to work in a village-like environment. You have to adapt. You cannot say, because that is a job. Those who are in marketing, they are placed in a rural area. Because there are a lot of scope in marketing for FMGC products. And they want a person who can sell products in those areas. I discussed with some Hindustan level people long time back. Adaptability. Communication, again a skill. Communication skill in a equation of sender to receiver, this module, simple module, sender to receiver. And what we talk, whether talk or information or message. So what are the communication skills? The first skill is thinking. Thinking on the part of sender as well as thinking on the part of receiver. Think. Then come doing, observing. All this skill we teach in our interview technique. Doing, observing, how you walk, how you go in front of a panel, how you sit. Somebody is watching it. Doing, observing, we normally see this in a drama stage. Actor or actresses, they don't talk a word, but people may laugh or people may start crying. Only acting, that is doing. Then comes writing, reading. We have to tell them how to write a CV or a biodata. Somebody is going to read it. And then talking, listening. I repeat, these are the communication skills, simple. Thinking on the part of sender, thinking on the part of receiver. Like for example, when I'm giving some order to my students, a couple of students start sitting in front of me. First saying, look, now listen carefully. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make them think what message is going to come from the head. We have to bring them in that situation, not just fast talking like. Then give a message, then take a feedback immediately. What have you heard? Because when I communicate, some action is depend on that. So if there is an ambiguity or there is a block, breakdown in my communication, probably they will not understand. So I'm developing this skill. This is a very important skill. Feedback. Immediately after passing the order, try to take a feedback from the student and make this as a habit. Because this skill, they will definitely be helpful in their ensuing career. When a subordinate is given an order and the work is on, I think he is supposed to give a feedback every now and then while the work is in progress. This is not happening. This is a problem in our work society. We have to inculcate that. So try to inculcate that culture here among the students. They are going to be future managers in any field. Conflict resolution. Presence, yes. How to resolve conflict? Again, a subject of organizational behavior. If there is a conflict, how to reduce? How to compromise? Or there are 4 or 5 techniques in conflict management. That's a tough subject of management. But basically, we should know, okay, where to take a step backwards. That is the first. And not that all the time, I'm right. Okay, the other person also may be right. Try to understand his viewpoint. If you compromise, okay, otherwise avoid. Avoid is also one of the conflict resolution. Or compromise, another strategy. Or compete. These are the strategies. Otherwise, compete. Try to overcome by your own. But then, how to resolve conflict? Conflict. And this conflict creates a problem. We say that conflict are inevitable in any organization. And conflict, basically, is what they say, sign for living organism. And there has to be a conflict. Conflicts are 2 different viewpoints. So to certain extent, we exchange our viewpoints and then take a decision. If the decision is taken all together, that will go. But then what happened? Then suppose the decision proved to be wrong. Then somebody say, I was telling boss, but he was not listening. That kind of a thing is required to be stopped. Okay, this is our failure. This is our team's failure. Let's take a corrective action next time. That kind of a culture we need to develop in our. Dependability, yes. We are not working in isolation, so especially when they are working different scale sales, they have to depend on each other because we are revealing that we are not working on the table because people have that habit of hiding things, not disclosing. And the same thing continues in their ensuing life. To that extent, yes, you can share. There's nothing confidential sort of a thing. But then, if I tell somebody, then my importance will go down. And that's not the correct situation. Integrity, then pramanikata bolte. Problem solving, very important skill. Given a situation, that's why the case study approach and applying your mind, analyzing the situation, knowing the problem, and then attacking that problem and solve the problem is a skill. Most of the time, we find that when a situation is given, when a case is given, people don't understand the problem itself. In our case study approach, it's a pedagogy. What we do, we try to tell you, okay, what is the problem involved? That is the first step. What is the problem involved? If a student identify the problem properly, then he will start applying his mind to get a solution with whatever theory he has, whatever knowledge he has. That is what is the pedagogy. Problem solving. Teamwork and work ethics. Teamwork. We have to develop a team. I tried long time back to develop team among students, and we used to have 1 hour play period at the ground, volleyball, basketball, and at times cricket. Cricket means that people like cricket, that's why. But otherwise, we made a teams, volleyball team and a basketball team, and the team is mixed, boys and girls, and go and play. When you start playing and when you start playing against some competitor, that develops a team. I learned this in army. Every day in the evening, we were having say 4 or 5 companies in a battalion, and all these boys used to play in their own companies, and thereafter, maybe after 6 months or something, we'll have an inter-company competition. Football, or say basketball, or hockey. Our company names are Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Alpha versus Bravo, Charlie versus Delta, and then the final. Teamwork. People fight for their company. Then, when there's an inter-battalion company, I was in Fort Dogra, say for example, Fort Dogra team versus some other regiment team. Then again, that spirit of unit vis-a-vis Gurkhas, right? Or any other unit. I remember as a captain, I was in charge of my boxing team, and in our brigade level competition, our competitors were Gurkhas. And Gurkhas are very best in boxing. So we analyze their style. Then me and my senior boxers, those who have played at the national level, we have analyzed our mindset, our boys' mindset. So we have observed our Dogras, we call it. They're good fighters, no doubt, but unless and until जब तक वो गर्म नहीं होता है, तब तक fight नहीं करते. We used to observe that in the first round, our boys used to get lot of bashing. In second round, he will start bashing others. But this is not good in a 3 rounds competition. This is not good. So what we decided in a final match, before final match, any boxer going in the ring, there are 2 national players with me. So they used to play in a tent. And by giving a lot of boxes to him, we used to give them a josh. उसको पहले गर्म करते थे and then छोड़ते थे ring में. Believe me, That year, we won the bout and we beated Gurkhas. And that was what you call surprising in army circles. How Dogras beated Gurkhas. Gurkhas are very smart, short fellows and good build. What probably I did at that time, I analyzed what is the mindset of my soldier. जो गर्म होता है तो लड़ता है, why not? Then उसको पहले ही गर्म करो, ठोको उसको. I'm just giving example to make my point more clear. I think when we deal with our students, we should read their mindset and accordingly you load them for different work. Certainly we are not playing boxing, I know that. But suppose there's a game event, and I like we have in Pune, we have a Purushottam Karandar. A lot of colleges, they work to get a prize in a Purushottam. It's a very good competition, very good dramas and all. And they work because there are some people, they are having that inclination toward drama. I think just this year, some new college have won the prize. They just enter and they got the prize. I don't know the name, Pune Kaikul. Purushottam Karandak, very important. And from that Purushottam Karandak, only the future actors and actresses are developed. This is a history. Work ethics, very important. We have to teach them. No nonsense. I think this is what is required to be. Unfortunately, we have to teach ethics. Ethics has to come from mind, but that is not happening in any sector. This is a very challenging job for us, I know. But then, if something is going wrong, that we have to tell you this is wrong. We should not follow this practice. A lot can be talked about that, but not now. Let's go further. Now, these are the life skills given by UNESCO: problem solving, critical thinking, effective communication skill, decision making, interpersonal relations. I talked about all the skills, but interpersonal relationship, how to develop interpersonal. Like, for example, when they are joining some industry or banking profession, I learned one good thing in army, and I think this is a practice in IPS also, IPS cadre also. Whenever a new officer is inducted in a team, that officer is required to call on seniors. Call on, he has to go at his residence for once, first time, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. It's again a drill, call on skill, call on drill. Get to know each other. Suppose a newly joining officer is married, then they both are required to go and call on the commanding officer. This is what is a tradition in army. The same tradition in the IPS level, Indian Police Service. I confirm. I think to develop interpersonal skill, I think this is the first step. Start getting acquainted, start getting close to your boss. Not just materialistic, but we have to respect your boss. This is how the interpersonal relation skills are developed. In some companies, in a small group, we do maintain this by arranging get-together, arranging lunch outside by the company only, or maybe outbound training program. Very important. Because ultimately all these, we have to take care of conflicts resolution also. We have to develop a team, and developing a team in any sector is a very, very challenging job. A lot of team intervention. Develop नहीं होता, करना पड़ता. I've gone through that organization where team was developed right from day one. As a group, as a battalion, team, and we are ready to do anything in a war, in a peace. Because we are disciplined, we stay together, right from morning for a PT parade, thereafter training, weapon training or whatever classes, thereafter in the evening game, and at times in the evening Bada Khana. That Bada Khana, probably we were aware, where all the troops and the officers, they come together for occasion, not that every day. We have a very rigid structure. Within a rigid structure, we follow these practices. And Bada Khana, the officer is required to have a food with the Jawans, sit with Jawans, maybe drink with Jawans. That is a culture. Not that everybody drinks, but then Bada Khana. Not only that, the sing songs of your language, Dogra. I'm from Dogra, and we are supposed to sing a song of our company song. These are the intervention to develop a team. After leaving army 40 years, 45 years, I still know those songs. That was upbuilding. For that matter, in our college also, we can do this kind of thing. Okay, come together, come. And that's why I know the mentor-mentee relationship. When we become a mentor for 10 students, we can develop future generation with this. But in a class, when we conduct a class of 60 minutes, we get hardly any time to interact with students because we have to finish. There's a tremendous pressure for completing syllabus, and then one after the another chapter. We don't take time. That's why the counseling and mentoring, I think we have to have a separate time apart from that. And that is what the role of a mentor like you and me to develop different skills and different. Take for example, we don't teach how to judge a person. I repeat, we don't teach how to judge or how to evaluate the another. For that, I have a formula. We have done that. A small group activity. This is kind of management concept. Small group activity. In industry, we do have. A small group activity basically I consider is a laboratory for development. 10 students, boys and girls, should come together once in a week, 1 hour. Once in a week, 1 hour. They should come together, start discussing amongst them. To start with, what is required to be done? Whatever they have read in a newspaper or a magazine or a journal related to subject, they should come and share. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I read this. Probably then what happens when I'm sharing something, the other 9 probably they are not aware, they will start learning that. Your general knowledge will improve. Slowly, then start ask them to give a lecture. Those who are not good in English, then probably they can make a practice, give a lecture after preparation, and later maybe impromptu lecture, no practice. And then some games or games in a sense, management games, one can understand the other human being. For that, you attach a mentor. Mentor need not be present every week. Mentor only once in a week. And mentor you can take from outside also. We were having 30 groups and I had taken a mentor from various walks of life. Principals, army general, police officer, then industry, many people, industrial managers, because we are preparing our crowd for industry profession. Somehow it didn't work. The other day I just said that in the induction. It didn't work. A girl student asked me during induction, "Sir, why it didn't?" Then I told her, look, when we tell you something serious, you must understand why we are telling you. What is the objective of this? Because unless and until there is a response, positive response from the student, this will not work. And those students of those batch, when they went to the industry, they came back and said, "Sir, please continue mentor-mentee because now I got a mentor in the industry. And I came from industry, I know what is happening in industry. And I was trying to bring that." I said that whatever teacher want to do, if you want to achieve a success, you should understand why. Why this particular activity and why I should give a response. When you give a positive response, yes, it is a beneficial for you. But at this age, they don't understand. So we have to make them understand. I mean, this is what it's a tough job, I know. It's a tough job. Okay. No. Same. creative thinking, self-awareness building, empathy, coping with stress, emotion. Now, coping with stress, again, when we talk about our Indian knowledge system, I think why not make them every day doing some exercise, consistency in doing exercise, and then some teaching in pranayama and yoga. Very important. Very, very, very important, because this is an investment. Anything related to health is an investment that will help them in ensuring career. Like they say, na, 4H, I think I again repeating that 4H formula: head, heart, hand, and health. I repeat, maybe a repetition, but let there be a repetition. Head means intelligence. We should allow our student, we should make our student to use their brains, apply their mind, develop analytical thinking, critical thinking, brains. H, next H is heart. Heart talks about commitment and involvement, getting involved in a job, committed to the job. Very important. Whether you are studying in a library, or whether you are working something, or whether even if you are doing housekeeping on a particular day, that you are cleaning the classrooms and all that. Once in a while, yes, because we are trying to develop that work culture. And we are trying to tell them, look, no work is, cleaning a classroom is also very important work that somebody has to do it. We are not trying to develop you for the sweeper's post. I remember we did this exercise, experiment, way back in Thermax, and the trainee engineers were put to clean the washrooms in our company, factory. Some engineers, they were annoyed. If we are not joining this particular company for this purpose, then our HR have to tell them, look, this is how we want to develop your skills, your mindset, because you should understand what difficulties people have when he cleans washrooms or bathrooms. We ask them to work in a cookhouse. Some training engineers took it very seriously and they enjoyed. Some of them, no, we will leave and all that. Nobody leaves because of good job. But this is how to develop it, because in company also we are trying to develop this kind of culture and skill. So coping with state emotions. The top 10 skills graduate recruiters want: commercial awareness about the business, communication, teamwork, negotiation, persuasion skill, problem solving. Again and again, we are repeating the same, but these are important. Okay. Leadership, organization, perseverance, motivation, ability to work under pressure, and confidence. Leadership we talked about, but again, repeat. I think last time I told you Indira knows 5 leadership C's. First is competency, the first skill. Second one is confidence or courage. The third one is communication. The fourth one is consistency. And the fifth one is compass. I repeat: competency, courage or confidence, communication, consistency, and compass, which is your true north. What do you want to achieve in life? Fine. So these are the leadership skills, and she also talked about hip pocket skills, that everyone should be good in 1 or 2 hip pocket skills where people should come back to you. That is what she said. I don't know whether I've talked about Jack Welch's formula. Even if I talk again, let me, because since we are talking about leadership, Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Motors, he talked about 5 E's and 1 P. First is positive energy. Second is energize. Energize people. Energize means influence people. Positive energy means we must tell our students, yes, you have positive energy. First, influence yourself. Bubbling energy at this particular age. Then you should start understanding how to influence others. Influencing others, whether subordinates, colleagues, or superiors, is a leadership. We teach that in the leadership. And through various activities, we can develop this leadership among students. Third is age over. Age over is a relative concept. Relative means 10 students, they are good in English, but one of them knows foreign language, German. That fellow will have it. So here, to develop age over in their biodata, we must tell them, look, every 6 months you take a review of your biodata, decide what skill you want to develop, have a proper planning, and start developing that skills and start putting efforts and be confident in that particular skill and try to develop your biodata after every 6 months. Such biodata will have age over others. It's not only academics 80%, no. Other skill, I was a class representative or a captain of a team, or I took this delegation, I went for a competition, anything. But then doing that, the learning point, okay, what that fellow has learned. Now here is a very important. Now when we send our students for, well, let me complete this Jackville score. So age over, then execute, take decisions. So positive energy, energize people, age over, execute, and last passion. Whatever they are required to do, they have to apply. One has to be passionate. So let me give you something else. You see, when we talk about on-job training and we send our student for on-job, now this is what the compulsory in NEP now, National Education Policy, or field reports and all that, field research. On-job training or internship for 2 years, 2 months. Now, how to develop? Normally, what happens once we send our student, we don't know what he's doing there. I think we should take a review. We have to have a guide from our side and one guide in the industry. Ask that fellow to maintain a diary every day, what he has. Suppose this is 60 days exposure in a company or in a bank. Every day they have to maintain a diary, what he has learned, what job he has done from say 9 to 5. Now writing a diary is normally a system in our organization. During my time, work diary. Then discuss with that fellow. Okay, give me a presentation. How you solve a particular problem. Whether you have solved a problem or not. Whether you stuck to the problem. Have you tried to analyze the reasons? When you took help of seek help from your boss, your guide, how he solved the problem? And when he solved the problem, whether there was a good learning from. I think once you put that fellow on this track, on-job training will definitely help to develop different kind of skills. When he is going through an office, he should look at the different notices put up on the notice board in Time Office or any other office. Okay, what these notices are meant for. We need not teach them what are the laws controlling this factory or this organization. Observation is a good skill. We don't teach our student to observe. Observe what is happening around. Once you observe, then start analyzing this. I always tell, even if you are observing some TV program, there's a discussion, observe, listen what they are talking about, and then try to find out who's talking what, who's talking sense, who's not talking a sense, and on that particular basis, you develop your analysis. Maybe a politics, maybe economics, maybe a GST, whatever. Because one has to have this extra knowledge in any field. That is going to help. It's not only the knowledge of a particular subject, the competency comes like this. When I have different areas, different subjects known to me, at least maybe superficial. What's happening in GST? What is the effect of Trump's tariff? What is the effect of Operation Sindoor? What is happening? How people are opposing? Why they are opposing? Is it good for our country? at least stand. I'm not saying he join this party or join that party. Let them decide which party is good or which party. That is not politics. But while we are trying to develop responsible citizens, they should know what is our right from our nation's point of view. This is very important. Any decision taken by the central government, is it important? Like we all know that we lost Tibet. This is 62, and we are facing the problem now. Not many things. We used to won the war, and we used to release that particular captured ground. And again, that fellow, our neighbors will come and attack. But things are changing now. The Galwan Valley episode is a real crux. We gave a solid bashing to China. Very solid battle. I'm very happy. Because they killed the commanding officer. And then the complete, I think, Bihar regiment, they went there and smashed those Chinese. Because at that particular border area, we were not supposed to take weapons. So Chinese came prepared. No weapons, but some improvised weapons, and they started killing our boys. And they killed our commanding officer who was not having a gun and all. Later on, we gave them service. Abhi India sudhar raha hai. People came to know कि नहीं अभी ये नहीं होगा. Operation Sindoor or surgical strike, whatever. And the Operation Sindoor is now a classic case of our technology-based warfare. Total war game is changing now. Here onward, there will be different types of war. Anyway, it's a separate subject. You know, the other day I organized a lecture on Operation Sindoor in my university. Let them understand what exactly the military viewpoint. So, when we give a task, make the student to go through that task and learn. There has to be learned. But normally, what we observe, the consistency is not there. 30 days, they may go for 20 days, 2 दिन कुछ बीमार है, कुछ और काम है. This is not all. Absolutely not. When I was a manager of Daiichi, one fellow from UDCT Bombay, a chemical engineer, joined us for a 1-month training. 30 days he was supposed to work. Out of 30 days, he was present only for 18 days. Rest of the day, he remained absent. So he came to me for a certificate. I refused. I said, sorry. I'm also a teacher. I teach in Zimbabwe. And I know what is the importance of this particular on-job training. You may be from a very leading institute, but I will not give you certificate. Otherwise, you spend another remaining days and I will. But I don't know what happened. Probably the director who sponsored him, probably that fellow must have given. But if he has given that certificate, that means we are not developing a right culture for that fellow. Another example from commerce. My union leader came and said, sir, signature karo is certificate ke upar. मतलब क्या है certificate? नहीं, it's my relative girl. She is studying in BCom second year, and they have some practical and they have to take some training. So I just asked him, has she come and sat in our accounts? उसको कुछ सिखाया है क्या? नहीं सर, वो नहीं कर जरूरत नहीं. ऐसा नहीं भैया, इसकी जरूरत है. ये किसके लिए किया है? That's and I will give you permission, man. Let that girl sit here for 7 days, 8 days, whatever time, 1 day, 2 days. Let her understand the real crux of accounting and from my accounts manager. Certificate issuing is not the game, and then only certificate I'm not developing him. I think when we say there is a gap between academics and industry, I think this is a gap. We should insist that you have to learn. Nowadays, I am talking this particular story of 90s. Nowadays, the NEP, internship and whatnot, on-job training and whatnot, lot of components in our skill development initiative. Okay. Ability to work under pressure, confidence, these are the things. 21st century skill, knowledge skills and work habits. knowledge asked, attitude, skill, knowledge, I already talked about. I will skip a bit, but just go through the slide. Probably active, digitally transforming, collaboratively moving forward, creative, problem solver, progressive, working, competent, human resource, and quick in adopting changes. Quick in adopting changes. We talked about VUCA world, what changes are going to come in future. We have to have a perception. We have to develop our student to study what's going to happen in my field and be prepared to face those changes. I think this kind of a skill we need to develop. And for that, they have to have a proper study and proper 360 degrees view, not only your job. No, you have to have a 360 degree view. What's happening around me? What is going to happen? What new changes, what new technology is going to come? Today we are talking about artificial intelligence and all that. Maybe after 2 years, there's something else will come. You never know. Technology upgradation fast. I mean, today what we are talking is absolutely another 1 year or two. This is so fast, right? And the new generation we have to develop. Ultimately, our aim is to develop responsible citizens. They should work for our country. I'm not saying they should not go abroad, but even if they go abroad, there are linkages towards this our country. We have to develop them. You are an Indian. Nation first is a policy. क्या रखा है इस इंडिया में नहीं चलेगा. If that be the case, you go to then other countries. No issue. Then I think I have failed to develop that national spirit. Ultimately, responsible citizen as a citizen, I should have some faith and have some belongingness about the country. Coming in front of a tricolor on 15th August or 26th January, I think we have to make a compulsory. Unfortunate thing. They should come and stand there and salute to the our Dwaj, Naam, Namak and Nishan. Very important. Very, very. I think I talked about this earlier. Learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. Learning to know is a theory. Learning to do is practice. In new education, national education policy, we are giving a lot of concentration on that by on-job training, vocational training, this, that, field research. Learning to be and learning to live together. Learning to be. I think here comes that paravidya, self-realization, atmadhyan, and learning to live together. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I'm going to work in a society. I'm going to learn in society. So this is again our Indian knowledge system. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Okay, let's go further. Knowledge, skills, and attitudes I have talked about. These are the four partnership for 21st century skill. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. Again, repetition. Some last points. Now this is from my experience. I have prepared this slide. Suggested skill development. First is theory, concept, now. One has to be very clear about the theory part of it, whichever subject. Then comes the practical training. Then keep on practicing. Learning to know, learning to do. Learning to do, that keeps on practicing. Practice makes a man perfect. Once he practices that particular knowledge skill, assessment and evaluation after 2-3 years. Assessment, what type of skill gap, what type of skills that fellow is required to develop in future. That is assessment. Then retraining. Again, retraining is a very important. There is up training, retraining. These are the terms. In a career also, the fellow is required to put through the training program, upskilling, retraining, practice new learning. So new learning after 5 years, okay, practice that. Develop competency. Again, the word, develop competence. Whatever job I do, I am a competent. People will come back to you. Then comes Kaizen, continuous recruitment. Continuous recruitment is Kaizen. See, whatever job I'm doing, whether I can bring some innovation, not that exactly innovation, but there are three things. Can I save time? Can I save money? Can I say it? Only 3 ask this question. And if you get a solution to that, yes, then probably you bring a new technique, a new method of doing the job where you can save time, you can save money, and this is what we require in profession. When you are having these schemes like how to reduce the cost, very important, because a rupee saved is rupee earned. That is a principle in finance. The other day, one of my guest lecturer asked a question, who is a finance manager? So I answered, every person in any organization is a finance person. Whether industry or army or government or a teacher. We are finance. We should know our budget. We should know our limit and we should work within the limit. Acquire life skill. All life skills are given. Plan, do, check, act. This is again a management. Plan, then do it. Learning to know, learning to do. Then check whatever you've done is perfect or not. If something is required to be done, okay. Revise it. That is come act. So this is a PDCA cycle for every operation. This is what is a quality management. PDCA. And quality management is simple. Wow, what is do it right first time. Every time. But doing the things right, that means a person should know the process and keep on repeating that process. Wherever possible, you can upgrade the process so that you can maintain a Kaizen, continuous improvement, and move forward. Forecasting of future skill and continue. And be competent and successful. This is what I thought that I should talk. I think we have about 12 to 13 minutes to go. I think today we have got 10 more minutes. I've finished my presentation and let me see whether I can show you the remaining. Just I will stop this sharing. Let me see. And because last time, Gaya, slide Gaya. Sorry. No issue. We talked about knowledge skill. No, any question? I think we talked about a lot about skill development. I've given you a lot of examples also. Now I'm free to learn from you. Yes. Any question? Oh. Can you see this? I think I'm Hello.
Yes,
Screen
sir.
it now.
Yes. So question answer you can.
Yes, sir. Is participant any question?
I finished my presentation. If you're having any question, please do ask. How many participants are there now? It's about 6 o'clock.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, please tell your name, sir. Plus introduce yourself.
This is Dr. Gangunaidu Mandala.
Yes.
Sir, actually you said about development skills like, always when we teach to the students and definitely we will give some paths to the students.
Task.
So as a teacher, what, paths we should adapt to teach, innovatively that we should take all IKS examples in teaching methodology. And with your experience, can you share, because you are having, a very beautiful experience, like one side service you have given to the country as an army man, as well as, as a teacher and administrative officer, like you will have many strategies. As a faculty, what type of strategies as well as methodology we should use to make good path as a teacher?
First,
Can you suggest?
first I will say, I think we have to start with telling our student to realize themselves, self-realization, Atmajnan, and this is very important. This takes time. I'm not referring to strengths and weaknesses analysis, but then they should spend time to know himself or herself. Now, this is a very critical exercise. It takes time. And as a teacher, when having more and more communication with him, when you come together, I think you are the best judge to evaluate his what you call behavior or attitude. Now, here is the role of a teacher. I will not talk about IKS and all that, but how to make that fellow self-realized. Today problem in our academics with students, I'm told that a lot of students are under pressure, tremendous pressure, career pressure, whatever. How to make them out of that particular pressure? That is the objective. So start interacting with them. Wherever you find something wrong, give him or her feedback कि बेटा ये गलत है, इसके ऊपर ऐसा विचार मत करो. Like for example, there are certain traditions of our Indian knowledge system, or certain okay, I'll read out that Indian traditions, social and family tradition, and key Indian values. So let's talk about that. We can doing a namaste, a very simple tradition. Joint family, arranged marriages, I'll not talk about respect to elders. Namaste and respect to elders. I think we can develop a culture in our college that whenever a student coming in front of a teacher, he should do namaste or say at least good morning or good evening. This is not happening, at least in my department. Respect to seniors comes like this: respect to elders. Respect to elders. Then festivals and celebrations. We should celebrate some festivals because it is also having family. It is also having a meaning. What happened nowadays? We do celebrate birthdays and put a birthday boy or girl cake on his face. We have to stop that. This is not our culture. Probably you are not learning management. You are wasting this resource. A cake is there. It is required to be eaten. Okay, enjoy birthday also, but this is not way. Right? Diwali, Holi, Dasera. You see, we have a tradition. Dasera, Sono, बोलते हैं ना हमारे इधर मराठी में सोनल लुटनी. You have to go and call on seniors and then give that aptechi pan, Sono, not the actual gold. And in the Tilgul Samarambo, go to seniors and take Tilgul from that. These are the tradition. But over a period of time, we are getting away from this tradition. I think when we talk about Indian knowledge system, traditions and values, I think we can start this. Spiritual and religious practices, yoga, Vedic chanting, Hindu worship. I think now when I say Hindu worship, doesn't mean other religions also have a good prayers. Any religion, there is no differentiation between, there is no religion dogma. Whether the Quran or Bible or Hindu or Puthi, okay, like make them read, make them learn from that. Those ancient scriptures teach you a lot, but nowadays our students are not in that. Food etiquettes, eating with hands, this is also a tradition. The right hand, very important, respect to feet. I mean, whenever some senior elder comes, we normally go and touch his feet. Namaskar karte hain. Pai lagu, Hindi mein. I think this is a tradition. These are traditions. I think certain traditions we can. Namaste or respect to teachers, and then celebrating different functions, festivals. Sir, let me tell you, when we shifted to our new premises, way back in 2000, I suppose, 4. Now, we wanted to do a puja. But then I told you, okay, I appealed to my students, look, we are going to do some puja. If any person from different religion want to do a puja or patan or whatever, chanting, you can come, sit in the hall and please do it. It is Sarva Dharma Puja. So we had a puja Hindu style. There were some 2 Muslim boys and girls. They came and they read the Quran. There were some girls from North Indian states. उन्होंने अपना आरती किया, उसका हिंदी में आरती किया. And that kind of culture I have developed. Not that only I will do only Hindu. Okay, Ajo, it's open. And believe me, now here, that Kashmiri girl, after chanting, after reading the Quran, she came to me and she was in tears. She said, sir, 3 years I was in Delhi, but I was never allowed, mark this word, never allowed to read Quran in that college. I think by doing this, we reach to their heart. Right? And I think nobody thereafter, what you call, otherwise in our colleges, what is happening? If you do some puja, there will be another group and come, you puja kyun kiya, wo kyun kiya. Then unnecessary the political things start. No politics. So this is what we can implement. Then Indian values, respect to elders, hospitality, ahimsa, Atithi Devo Bhava is our tradition, spirituality, unity and diversity, honesty and integrity. I think not that all, but at least one or two you can start. Fine? Have I answered you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have one more question, which
Yeah.
is now out of syllabus. Can I ask, sir?
Ah.
Because, sir, you are the right person to answer because you worked in different places. One is Army Force, and where all Indians love the people who work in Army, as well as you worked as a administrative officer and as well as professor in these areas. So, how you manage office politics, sir, in different places? Office politics come in all the places, but you work in different places. I
Yeah.
need your experience, how you faced them.
One
I'm so
rule.
sorry, this is not, sir.
I got your question very properly. There is a politics everywhere. Universities are full of politics. Let me give you some suggestion. Don't involve in politics. You don't do politics. You join this particular group and then start giving abuses to your bosses or your abuses.
We don't involve, we don't, sometimes they may drag you into that.
No. Then you have to put, sorry, my job is to teach and I'm here for teaching. And I've done that. Friend, I was a registrar, everything I've worked there, but without a politics. हाँ, एक और भी देता हूँ कि if somebody tried to play a trick with you, then you should know how to overcome or how to win over that situation. वो थोड़ा बाय एक्सपीरियंस से आ जाएगा कि उसको जगह दिखाने के लिए कल की बात बोल दो परसों एक nothing to nowadays our admissions are going late, NRF ranking is going down, people are doing a hue and cry and this and that, lot of. So yesterday I was just having a discussion with a nominee of chancellor. So I said कि sir पहले आप गवर्नर को जाके बोलो ना कि हमारा एडमिशन टाइम पे करो. वो बोलेगा नहीं बोलेगा पता नहीं. अगर मैं उसके जगह होता तो मैं गवर्नर के सामने जाके बोलता. I'll give you one more example. Once we were called in front of a governor when I was a dean, then acting vice chancellor and director BCD. Some institute made a complaint against all of us, and they were cheating the student. Over there, in front of a governor, we all, at least as a management, this thing, I had to tell the truth, what is happening. And that other lady and all that, they just, what they told, कि कैप्टन चितले से कि हम पंजाबी है तो हम यूनिवर्सिटी से बाहर निकाल सकते. Nothing of that sort. Then I started. I talked for over 15 minutes and I gave a complete situation. बाद में वो बोलता है क्या रे the matter is in court, so prejudice, so let's not discuss. तो काय के लिए बुलाया हमको? When I came out, some secretary asked me, क्या आपने बहुत बोला, इतना कोई बोलता नहीं है क्या चांसलर के सामने. मैंने कहा डर है क्या? I want to put my side, whether he's a chancellor or a governor, but I also a teacher, I am a dean. अगर उसको आना ले लो एक्शन कर दे दो मेरे को ऊपर एक्शन. I have not talked anything wrong. I have not talked against team. I have not talked against government. That particular confidence you have to show. Sorry, I will not compromise. And nothing happened thereafter. Nothing, because we were right. Because we cannot compromise with our principle. Couple of times calls from higher up, इसका एक एडमिशन करो, आपके हाथ में. मैं मतलब हाथ में भी क्या, मेरे पैर में भी नहीं है. तो ये आप इतना एडमिशन करो, आपका जो भी काम होगा आप करेंगे, हम करेंगे। मैं बोला मेरा कोई काम नहीं, आई एम अ पुअर प्रोफेसर। या जब आप मुझे फोन कर रहे हैं तो वो कैंडिडेट को हमारा लेवल का मार्क्स नहीं है, उसको लेके आओ हमारे पास, नेक्स्ट ईयर के एग्जाम कैसे करना है हम उसको फुकट में सिखाएंगे। इतना काउंसलिंग में कर सकता हूँ, ये वो मेरे हाथ में। एडमिशन नहीं करूंगा, सॉरी। You have to take a tough stand, friend. You cannot, and especially in university department. Have I answered you? Only one or two. Whether the participants are there or not, coordinator. No, I'm just talking. Otherwise, we'll close. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ,
Audible, sir.
अरे पार्टिसिपेंट दिखाई नहीं दे रहे मुझे, है क्या?
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Roll 45.
हाँ,
हॅलो सर, एक क्वेश्चन विचारायचा मला.
विचारा.
सर, नॉन ग्रँटेड एनसीसी साठी आम्ही लास्ट इयर आय वॉज अप्लाय फॉर द एनसीसी,
एनसीसी.
बट हाँ एनसीसी के लिए अप्लाई किया था हमने, लेकिन हमें 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 मिला नहीं ग्रांटेड. तो नॉन ग्रांटेड के लिए मतलब ये क्या प्रोटोकॉल, क्या प्रोसीजर, क्या है, कैसे मिलता?
इसमें आप कौन से जगह है?
अभी मैं
औरंगाबाद है?
छत्रपति संभाजी नगर में हूँ, गवर्नमेंट
अच्छा,
इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फॉरेंसिक साइंस, छत्रपति संभाजी नगर.
औरंगाबाद एनसीसी डायरेक्टर के अंडर है आप, ठीक है?
हाँ हाँ
एक्चुअली
हाँ.
आपको एप्लीकेशन करना पड़ेगा, इमीडिएटली तो नहीं मिलेगा। अभी वो पहले एक स्कीम था सेल्फ फाइनेंस, पूरा सेल्फ
हाँ,
फाइनेंस
सेल्फ
में।
फाइनेंस. हाँ.
हाँ, तो पहले आपको सेल्फ फाइनेंस में मिलेगा, और अभी गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसी आ रही है, हमें भी सेल्फ फाइनेंस ही मिला, 4 साल में वही चला रहा हूँ यूनिवर्सिटी में। हमें हमको देते नहीं थे, लेकिन हमारे पास भी अंडर ग्रेजुएट है ना, और उनको ऐसा
अच्छा.
लगा कि यूनिवर्सिटी के पास सभी कोर्सेज को गवर्नमेंट का अनुदान है, तो उनको पढ़ाना पड़ेगा। नहीं भैया, ऐसे नहीं होता है। तो आप पहले अप्लाई तो करो, वेट करो। सेल्फ फाइनेंस के लिए
मैं
आप
अप्लाई किया सर, अप्लाई किया, 3 साल हो गए अप्लाई किया मैंने.
तो पेंडिंग में होगा ना, जाके जरा चेस करने का। जैसे आगे
नॉन ग्रैंड के लिए बोल रहा मैं,
नॉन
कैसे
ग्रैंड,
कर सकता?
नॉन ग्रैंड का क्या होता है ब्रदर? और नॉन ग्रैंड में ना बजट देते हैं। मुझे अभी एक ऐसे सिचुएशन पुणे में आया, नॉन ग्रैंड कॉलेज उसको मिला, लेकिन वो कॉलेज कुछ भी पैसा देने देता। वो स्टूडेंट को ही अपना यूनिफॉर्म सिलाने के लिए बोलते थे। तो ये एक्चुअली अगेंस्ट है सेल्फ फाइनेंस के। मेरा यूनिवर्सिटी में बजट 20 लाख रुपए है। वी डोंट चार्ज अ सिंगल पेनी टू द स्टूडेंट। तो उनका यूनिट बंद होने में आया, अभी उनको लकीली लकीली गवर्नमेंट का मिला, और उसके लिए उन्होंने मेरे पास आए थे कि सर जरा आप थोड़ा सा बोलो, बिकॉज ओवर हियर द ब्रिगेडियर इज अ गुड फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन, इंजीनियर है। तो उसको उसके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर को बोल के उनका गवर्नमेंट का हो गया। आपका उधर कौन है देख लो, अगर कहीं हम यहाँ से बोल सकते हैं तो बता देंगे।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, मैं आपका नंबर देता
नहीं
हूँ
नहीं,
मैडम से.
उनका नाम वगैरह दे दो। कहीं किसी कांटेक्ट, क्या आता है हमारा आर्मी में ना, एक नेटवर्किंग काफी रहता है।
हाँ जी सर.
वो हो सकता है मेरे जो
क्योंकि सर देखो, हमारे जो बच्चे, हमारे बच्चे फॉरेंसिक साइंस बच्चे, फॉरेंसिक साइंस के, तो उनका मिलिट्री में रहा है, तो फिर वो अच्छे और अच्छा करेंगे.
मुझे आप मेरा नंबर कोऑर्डिनेटर से दे दो, यू कांटेक्ट मी।
हाँ जी.
मैं देखता हूँ, मैं इधर का जो मित्रा है, ब्रिगेडियर मित्रा, उससे बात करके कि औरंगाबाद में कौन है, और बता देंगे भैया, हेल्प करो। अभी हमारे पास
हाँ
एनसीसी का हमने एक बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडी भी किया है। एक्चुअली एक्चुअली ये नए एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में या यूजीसी क्या बोलती है कि एनसीसी का क्रेडिट होना चाहिए,
हाँ.
एनसीसी का सब्जेक्ट इन्वॉल्व करो, इंक्लूड करो, ऐसे बोल रहे हैं। तो वो तो बढ़िया हो जाएगा। तो अभी हम ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर, अभी एक चेयरमैन अपॉइंट किया है,
हाँ हाँ.
तो हम उसको क्या 2 या कैडेट या 3 कैडेट, वो अगर कैडेट ये करेगा, परेड करेगा, कैंप करेगा, तो उसको क्रेडिट भी मिलने चाहिए।
हाँ सर, मिलता.
अभी इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी
They
हो
also
रहा है।
got the opportunity in army also, sir.
यस यस। तो मेरा नंबर ले लो, आप मुझे कांटेक्ट करो। अब पहले आप
हाँ जी
मुझे
सर.
मैसेज भेज दो, देखता हूँ मैं एश्योर तो नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन हेल्प जरूर करूँ।
हाँ ठीक है सर, गाइड करो सर मुझे, बाकी मैं मतलब कोशिश
क्या
करता हूँ.
आपका नाम क्या है?
डॉक्टर देवीदास भगत.
ओके, देवीदास। ओके, चलो अभी क्लोज करें कोऑर्डिनेटर।
हाँ जी. रोल नंबर 45.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to everyone, sir, present here. On behalf, I, Assistant Professor Sandeep Guge, feel deeply honored to deliver of the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Captain Chitale sir, for sparing valuable time and sharing such insightful knowledge with us during the refresher course in IKS skill-based curriculum development. Sir, your expertise, practical guidance, and thought-provoking ideas have truly enlightened and enriched us. Once again, thank you very much, sir, for your inspiration session. We look forward to applying your guidance in our academic and professional journey. After this, course coordinator Madhuri Sawant ma'am, MMTC, TTC Assistant Director Rafi sir and Gaurav sir, thanks for the two and thanks to the other participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for patient listening this lecture as well as the last lecture. It was a pleasure to share my experience with you all. I hope you like my lecture, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors and future career. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Today is the last day of your course.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
10th
और
day.
दो दिन है.
2 more day remaining, sir.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Bye bye.